Give Me Grace, a podcast by Ellen and Nolan, is brought to you by the Corn Dog Company, home of the Honey Dog, and by Alder Cabinet Installations, classy cabinets for classy people, and by generous contributions from the Friends of the Give Me Grace Project. With all that said, enjoy the show. To episode 18 of Give Me Grace. This is a trek through the West that Nolan has got us on, and so I'm so grateful to be his Sundance Kid.
Yeah.
To Butch Cassidy.
Butch Cassidy, huh?
Yeah. Now you're Butch Cassidy today, and I'm not just Sundance Kid. I should say the Sundance Kid, following the lead of Ohio State.
Yeah, I guess we haven't had anybody out east, so I think it really is
a trek through the West. You know, well, we had, I don't know, Chelle would argue the point.
Midwest. That's upper Midwest.
That's Eastern Midwest. There's got to be, what do they call that? The Mid-Atlantic, I think. It's Mid-Atlantic.
Anything like that, Ohio out that way, it's considered the Midwest, and people are like, well, that doesn't make sense. But
yeah, it's
further east. Was small, okay. Then it was the Midwest. So.
Great Lakes region.
Right.
Let's say that. Yeah. She's the furthest east so far, though.
I think
so.
But
we've had, think of all the people we've had who've lived in the East. You and I, for starters. Right. Todd was another one.
Yeah.
Lives out there.
It's true.
I think Angie, when we talk to her, I think she lives out there. I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, she passed through Albany one time. She texted me and said, "I'm passing through Albany." Yeah. So I don't know if she lives out there, but
you're like, "Are you lost?"
Yeah, exactly. Why would you do that? She was visiting grandkids, so it actually could be that they were visiting the whole region, but I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I've got a couple of Nolan's notes.
We gotta go Nolan's notes. Give it to us.
Well, Marcia and I went to the BYU football game in Dallas on Friday, and it was a good game. BYU ended up winning by a field goal, and while there, I knew that they would be there, but I got to see Chris, your brother, and his wife, and their 2 kids.
Oh, nice! I didn't know you just saw the whole family. Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody stayed the whole time. I think Max and Chris may have stayed for the whole game, but
okay. Yeah. I haven't asked him how his and Max's experience has been with BYU fans. I'll have to.
Yeah, he was wearing his. Speaking of the Cowboys, he was wearing his Dallas Cowboys white shirt.
Yeah, as you would. Yeah.
And he was so funny because he was so excited. He's like, "Nolan, what are you doing?" And like, it was funny because we reminisced about the time we were trying to think of the last time that we saw each other. He says it was probably the night before September 11th.
Oh,
Lane,
yeah. You
him
were
and
with Lane and Chris that day.
Lane and Chris and Jules,
Yeah, that's right.
my friend Jules Musferrer.
Yeah.
And we were reminiscing about how we went to the game, but it got rained out, so we drove up and down through Spanish Harlem and parts of Manhattan. And
Oh,
he said that was the first and last time that he got to see the Twin Towers
how about
before.
that?
And then,
Yeah.
of
I
course,
remember that. I remember I couldn't make it down.
yeah,
Well, I was in Texas. We had just moved to Texas
right.
that summer. Yeah.
And then I got to see the Kingston Trio.
Nice. Well done. Nice,
Uh,
nice 50s reference
Corey,
for all of our parents who
you'll have to
watched the
look it up.
show.
Our older demographic, our fans. Um,
Awesome.
got to see Corey, Dane, and Trent.
Oh, Dane was there.
Yeah,
Nice.
and then we got to see Parker after the game.
Okay. Awesome.
So we spent some time together, got a couple pictures together, and Corey promised that he'll come on the show, but we're still not scheduled.
Yeah. All right. Well, he'll make good on that.
And Trent says Mrs. Kingston she's willing to come on the show, so
We just need to
got
make that
to
happen.
do
Okay.
it. And then on the way home, the Corn Dog Company has a food truck in the Austin area, so they happened to be in San Marcos that day for the tailgate between Texas State and UTSA game.
Okay.
So I got to stop in, got to see my son uh, that goes to school at Texas State.
Nice.
And then we walked over to the tailgate so Marcia and I could get some corn dogs. I got to try the $13 third pound.
That one that's like this big or something, right?
It was more thick than most.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
Marcia says it's funny we talk about them because the way you describe them. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's altogether a different kind of episode. But
Yeah.
so yes,
Different podcast entirely, to be
it
honest.
was a sausage more than a hot dog.
Fair enough.
It had jalapeno and cheddar inside.
Okay. Ooh, that
And so
sounds good.
I tried honey on it and it was pretty good, I must
Okay.
say. But
Okay.
I do prefer ketchup still.
I think I would have gone with the mustard, knowing there's jalapeno inside.
I
Keep
know.
it spicy. Yeah.
But yeah, it was
Okay.
cool. And Marcia had the mini,
Okay.
but no condiments. She's good
Nothing.
with just
Wow.
plain. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think everyone's got their own way on that. But
Yeah.
thank you, Corn Dog Company. It was delicious.
Yes. Thank you, Corn Dog Company. So my attempt in Pocatello wasn't
Mm,
wasn't nearly as successful because we
yeah.
traveled there and we looked and we saw the address, but we didn't really look to see that it wasn't scheduled to be open. So it
Yeah.
wasn't. What we should have done was go up to Idaho Falls, but we were hungry. It was already like 1 o'clock by then, so
Yeah.
the timing didn't quite work. But we're gonna hit it, I'm sure, at some point.
That's what I would tell people if they're interested in going. Certainly look on the internet and find your nearest location, but contact them and beforehand, make sure they're open.
Yeah. On the website, the one in IF had the location plus the
Right.
schedule,
Right.
like the current schedule. So
Yeah.
that was nice.
And some of
So
them do
we
that.
just didn't look that far beyond.
Yeah. But you never know. Like most of them have a Facebook site or an Instagram site because this one, for example, they move around. They go to
Yep.
different events.
Yeah.
And so
The
they were at
tailgate being
the
a
tailgate.
great example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was it.
Okay. So who won out of Texas State and UTSA? Was that the
Texas
team?
State.
Texas State beat them.
Texas
Okay.
State is good.
All right.
Yeah. UTSA used to dominate that rivalry, but now
Hmm.
they're coming
Okay.
up.
All right. Cool.
Not that I would go to either of the games, but
I've been to that stadium in San Antonio for something.
the Alamo Dome?
Yeah, I've been to the Alamo Dome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Temple.
Cowboys train camp was there. We drove up with Dale and a friend of his so we could hate watch the Cowboys doing train camp.
You stink.
Yeah, that was
You need to go
right to
practice.
it was toward the end of the Bill Parcells era, so that was cool.
Oh, you got
Got to see
big
him
tuna.
walking
Big
around.
tuna.
Was that his name?
That was his nickname, I think.
Was it?
Big tuna for some reason.
Okay.
He
Fair enough.
probably ate tuna fish sandwiches or something. Who
Well,
knows?
Yeah, on his first
He,
day,
he,
ordered the tuna. Yeah,
he
that's
probably ate big tuna fish sandwiches.
that's right. That's true.
I'll have the big tuna.
Yeah.
What do you have today? Big tuna? Ham and cheese.
It's in the question. Yeah.
So,
All right. Very
is
good.
there,
Do I have a Corky's quip? Just our last episode. It was awesome to catch up with Colleen
mhm,
there in Portland. That was really cool.
yeah.
Did that one at home along with Travis. I've done two at home. The sound is comparable, but it's just too hot this time of year up in my, I have a little loft up there and the AC doesn't reach it. So
Oh,
I was
okay.
sweating that whole time.
Yeah.
So I had to work on campus tonight anyway, so I thought I'll just stay.
You know, I'm glad she was honest.
That's
Because
true.
again, when I started this project, I knew that there would be people who had great high school experiences.
Yeah, and her experience coming back to
Right.
Grace wasn't what she hoped it would
Right.
be. Yeah.
But it sounds like her Spanish Fork high school experience was wonderful.
Yeah.
Obviously, it
Yeah.
produced the marriage,
Yeah, that's true.
ultimately. So,
That's true. Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's another high school sweetheart one. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They were separated for a couple of years while she finished up in Grace, but that's that one's cool too.
But I'm amazed how she can accomplish all the things that she does. Like, wow. She talked about taking a walk in the morning and then
Yeah.
afternoon, and wow.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
got to
I'm
be a
sure
happy dog they've got.
she's busy at work. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was good. Good to catch
Yeah.
up.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely a lot of fun. So now we just wait for our special guest. Oh, hold on.
You know?
She said thumbs up, so she should be coming in
Okay.
anytime. Usually we're blathering on while they're waiting for us.
They're like, why do they tell us 7:30 Mountain Time if they're not gonna?
Yeah, exactly. What are they doing? What are they
Yeah.
doing in there? But while we wait, see, we traveled this past week too. We went to Coeur d'Alene to watch
Really?
another nephew. Yeah, we went to watch another nephew run. So that's why I was on the road during the BYU game. I was listening to it on the radio.
Oh,
We were on our way to Coeur d'Alene, and my nephew from Meridian runs cross country. So,
okay.
so we went to watch him run in a state park north of Coeur d'Alene. It was good.
So let's talk about that. When you go to watch a sport, like you're gonna watch someone do a marathon
Hmm.
or something like a triathlon or a distance race like cross country. Obviously, you don't follow them along the course. You just
Well,
watch them at the start and watch them at the end, or what do you do?
okay, so this cross country track, see, the cross country parents are insane. This is the I've attended a couple here in town of just kids I knew. Um, and they'll run faster and work harder than the kids to try to
Mhm.
get pictures in different parts of the course. So we did that. We scouted out. He was running for the boys varsity. So during the girls varsity race, we scouted out, and what they would do is they would see them start, and they had two laps around this course. So they'd see them start, and then they would head up. It was probably, I don't know, half a mile,
Mhm.
maybe half a mile, and then walk up a hill. And you had to do it pretty fast in order to get there in time to take a picture of them there and route them on, right?
Yeah.
And then some of the parents would bust it down the hill to get back to where they were and take another
Mhm.
picture.
Yeah.
And we did that. And I didn't get a picture. I got there in time, but I didn't get a picture. I was using my phone wrong
Yeah.
as an old person would. And then so I didn't get a picture. But then we could have tried to get back up the hill, but we decided against it and we just went to the finish to get a good spot to finish. So we saw him four times during the race.
There you go.
It's burned during the 3.2 miles.
Have you ever gone to a golf tournament to watch like a professional golf tournament?
Yeah, I've gone to a professional golf tour, a Nike Tour one, or it's Corn Ferry now,
Yeah.
in Boise every year. I did that once. That was
So
fun.
do you follow a certain group throughout the
No,
tour, or
I
you
was
stay in one place?
I don't know. That Chris would be the one to ask this one because he goes to these a lot. I think I would want to stay at a hole, ideally, to watch the different players compete.
Yeah.
I think that's what I would want
So
to do.
they used to have a pro, well, they still have the Valero Texas Open here in San Antonio, but back in the day they had one more closer to downtown. And when Omar was small, he was doing like golf classes or something when he was
Uh-huh.
younger. And so there was a golfer that I knew of. I think it was like a more of a senior open, or he was almost on the senior tour. So we followed his group throughout.
Okay. I
And
could see
then
that if you have some kind of connection. I
if
could
you
see
knew
that.
somebody,
Yeah.
it's interesting to
Yeah.
follow. And then you get to see the different holes and you get your exercise.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I
you
could
know,
see that.
if it's like Augusta or something, you're going to probably want to stay in one
Yeah,
spot.
and I'm
So
not gonna
crowded.
yeah, I'm not gonna follow around just some random golfer if I don't have a connection to him.
Right.
Yeah. And shout something right when they hit the ball. Seems a little
Get in the
bootlickerish.
hole.
Yeah. Mashed potatoes. Yeah, it's all dumb. So
Did you follow the Boise State game?
I did. Yeah. Got home in time
Oh,
yesterday to watch it. They blew it. Two
oh
return
my.
touchdowns in the second half. It doesn't affect their season.
No.
If they win their conference, maybe they can lose one.
If
But if
that's
they run through their conference, they're going to be that top ranked group of five team with that showing. I mean, Oregon was lucky to get out of there with a win. We did not look worse than Oregon. We looked just as good.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe Oregon's not as good as we all thought they were.
well, now, and this game. Now, guess who has two thumbs and roots for Oregon? This guy, right?
Because every
Because every
makes
win they
Boise State
get
look,
makes us look better. So now we want Oregon to win whatever conference they're in.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
that's how that goes. That's the life of the group of five teams.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my way when we were independent. We had to
Yeah.
always,
Yeah. You beat a team, you beat a good team, or you narrowly lose to a good team and you hope that they just keep winning.
right.
Yeah. Yep. So that's probably one of the narrow circumstances in which I would root for BYU. Right there. As if it made us look better. Hmm. Yeah.
Marcia and I were talking about that. Who would we cheer for, Baylor or Utah?
Why would you root for Utah under any circumstance?
That's what I told her. But
Yeah. Just because they're in close
she don't,
proximity to BYU?
she don't like
Is
Baylor.
that the logic? Oh, well, there's that, I guess. Yeah. If you're more hostile toward Baylor than Utah, there would be that.
I think it's the proximity. Like we're closer to Baylor now. So
Yeah. Well, okay. I suppose that makes sense.
yeah. Is she here yet?
She's waiting in the waiting room. You ready?
Hey, yeah, let's
Our
go.
special guest is coming in. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Ooh, that gives a little bit of a hint, but not as much as some people.
Yeah,
That's more of a nickname.
I guess so.
All right.
Whoa.
We are good to go.
Okay.
It is good to see you though.
It
And
It
hear
is good
you.
to see you. So great.
Yeah.
I love how you coordinated your shirt with your background.
Me? Oh,
Oh
Courtney.
yeah. Yeah.
Courtney did.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
went with the purple today.
he's at work.
Yeah, I'm at work.
That's late.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's in Montana. He's fine.
Hopefully this doesn't feel like work, like a chore.
No. No, not at
This
all.
is fun.
It
It's
is
just
fun.
fun. I've been
It is
looking
fun.
forward to this. I texted my dad tonight. It's my night.
That's awesome. I think we've got them next week.
I
Think.
know.
Yeah.
I
So that'll
think
be
he's
fun.
pretty excited.
Good.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Yeah,
Just get the real live owner of Sanders Furniture. Come on.
I know. One of the OGs.
That's
Hopefully-
right.
Hopefully this is fun for you tonight too.
No, I'm super excited. It's so great. I love watching them and it's exciting to talk to you guys. Look at that yellow shirt. Woo!
Yeah. So this might be one of the only pictures where the three of us are all in the same picture.
Because we didn't all go to Thatcher every year.
Exactly. So we've done this with some of our classmates. If we quiz you on these, do you know all these kids or you don't know all these kids?
I don't know who you're sitting by, Nolan, in the front row.
That's Cameron Mickelson. That's my second cousin that
Okay.
lived down in Lego for a while and then moved away.
I
And then
remember
behind
him.
you is Matt Turner.
Matt Turner.
Is that Jose Cuevas?
That's Saul.
So, oh yeah. Wow.
Oh,
I haven't heard that name for a
yeah,
long time.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, it went away. The
Oh,
picture.
Yeah,
went
I
away.
have to
Nolan
be
has to talk.
talking. Yeah, I have to talk. So I'll be talking while you're looking at them.
Okay, so then we've got Corky, and is that LaDonna?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's her
LaDonna or
last name?
LaDonna. It was something like that. Yeah.
Sipe? No,
I don't
maybe.
remember her last name though.
Yeah, but she
Yeah.
moved away soon after that, I think. Or she went to
Yeah.
Grace.
I think she went to Grace for a couple of years. Maybe.
Wasn't she the one that Jared Rasmussen hit in the eye with an egg out behind the Thatcher School?
Part of it tracks for sure. The
That would
Jared
have been-
Rasmussen
I think
part.
that was probably later on, though.
Yeah, it was probably like fifth or
Oh,
sixth
okay.
grade.
That may have been Leanna.
Oh, yeah, that sounds
Leanna.
right. That
Fourth
sounds
grade?
right.
Yeah. that
Okay.
could be.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, man. And then
Very
next to
good.
you, we have no idea who that is next to you.
I don't either.
Yeah.
No idea. Then Tina Peck.
Yep.
Right. Then
Um,
that's Maria Cuevas.
okay.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
then Tara Stevenson.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And then Chad.
Yep.
And then
Right.
is that Dwayne? Is that Dwayne Mickelson next to him?
Dean
Dean.
Mickelson.
Dean.
Nolan's cousin Dean. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great picture to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk again, Nolan, so it
I'm
bounces
talking.
back
Okay.
up?
Yeah, that's my cousin Dean. Oh,
Next one, draw on
Yeah.
a blank.
I don't know who that is either.
No.
Next one, draw on a blank.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Corey Owens is one of them, probably.
Oh,
Oh,
and then
I think that
Dwayne.
is Corey
Isn't that
Owens.
Dwayne Alder?
That's probably
Yeah.
Dwayne Alder.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then that's Jesus Cuevas.
Yeah,
Okay, that's who I was
Jesus.
thinking Saul was. Were they twins?
No, Jesus. So that's probably the first year they came and they put them all in the same grade.
Gotcha.
And then because they didn't speak as much English, they put them, they held them back.
Yeah. By the
They-
time we were in middle school, Jesus was a year behind us.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, then top row, we've got Jared
Yeah.
Rasmussen and Tammy Haslam.
Very
Yes.
good.
I need you to talk again, Nolan.
And then we don't know who's next unless maybe that's
Oh, is that
That-
Smith?
could be.
Was Kyle
Kyle.
Smith in our
Kyle.
class?
I thought
Smith.
Kyle,
Okay.
but I
Yeah,
couldn't
I
think of the
think
last
that's who
name. So
that
I think
is.
you're right.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. I need you
Alright.
to talk again.
Moving on. And next.
Then John Van Vliet,
Yes.
Adam, what was his last
Kingsford.
name?
Adam Kingsford.
Kingsford,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then Rhonda, look how cute she
Wow.
is, Rhonda Hegstrom.
So
Yeah.
cute and put together. Look at that. Just,
So cute.
yeah.
Do you live very close to her? She's still in Montana?
I think, nah, I mean, in Montana close, it's like, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours.
Closer than you and I
I think
guess.
she lives
Yeah.
in Columbus. She lives in Columbus, I think.
Uh,
Yeah.
Is there Columbus, Montana?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course there's a Columbus, Montana.
And then our teacher, Miss
well,
Schumann.
oh, yeah. And then she got married right after we
Right.
moved over to Star Valley.
You and I
Oh, okay.
and Tina Peck went to her wedding.
Yep, I remember that.
I have a picture of us somewhere.
Oh, that would be great to see.
Yeah. Her name was Bird after she
Oh,
got
wow. Good
It's a
memory.
great memory. Yeah.
Good memory.
But
And then Miss Peck on the other side, obviously.
yeah.
Yeah.
She was an
Mrs. Peck.
assistant, I guess.
Ms. Peck, I believe. I don't think it was ever a Mrs.
Right. Yeah. I think you're
You're
right.
right. I vaguely remember at a parent teacher night, my dad remarking something about Miss Schumann was good looking. And my mom like hitting him playfully, like, shut up. You know.
So I
What
told
grade was that, second grade or first grade?
This is
First
first
grade.
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 Yeah.
I told my wife when I was getting this picture ready, I said, is it weird that a kid, maybe a first grader, might have thought his teacher was pretty? And
No,
I don't think it's weird at all.
no,
And-
not at all. I had a crush on a neighbor of ours, and before I even really knew what a crush was.
and then I told her Mrs. Thomas in third grade, and Thatcher was also very attractive. So
She was my neighbor. I loved her.
Yeah.
She was one of my faves. She lived, you remember the potato cellar that was kind of down the street from where I lived?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
She lived right across the street from that.
Okay.
There was
So
a
it's
potato
close.
cellar in town.
Pretty much.
Yes,
Yeah.
there was. We used to, when it would snow and the snow would
Oh,
drift,
yeah.
we'd jump off the potato cellar into the
Sure.
snow.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Of course.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Those were the things that you did as kids that now that you're parents wake you up in the middle of the night. Like,
It's
what
true.
were we thinking?
I know.
Yeah.
I hope they don't do that.
and
Yeah.
we're gonna dive into so many more of those as we go through
As
this
we go along.
episode. So
Yeah. All right, Rochelle, where do you live?
I live in Litchfield Park, Arizona. It's a suburb of Phoenix. It's probably about, I don't know, half an hour west of Phoenix.
Okay, give it to me in minor league baseball stadiums. What are you near?
Well, Chase Field is downtown.
Okay. There's got to be a minor league complex near
Sunrise,
you.
Is there what, Nolan?
Am I
Goodyear, Sunrise, any of those?
Goodyear is just a little bit south.
okay?
You know what the Cardinal Stadium, State Farm Cardinal Stadium?
Yeah, that's
I
Goodyear.
can see
Right?
that from my house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
look it up.
the Valley of the Sun just keeps growing, right? It's one of the fastest growing in the
Yeah,
United States.
it's crazy. It's a hotbed for data centers, and there's also a semiconductor project going on in the valley right now, and it's exploding. And there's no water.
It's a desert.
It is.
Yeah.
But
So
they build these little communities. They look like little tiny houses, and they say like it rents like an apartment but lives like a house. But literally, you could stand and
Yeah.
Oh,
touch
okay.
your neighbors. They're crazy.
Are
really
they
tiny.
rooted to that? Do they have like concrete foundation and stuff like that? They're
Yeah,
rooted to that area? Okay.
yeah, they're
But
just
they're just
a
tiny.
probably like maybe a 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom
Hmm.
house, just
How about
really
that?
small, really
Like
small.
less than 1,000 square feet or something, probably.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
How about that?
Starter
Yeah, I
house.
guess, yeah, that's true. My first house was 1,200 and it was 3 bedrooms. So it's going to be
Yeah.
400 or 500 square feet then.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
It's
about
the
that?
IKEA's dream.
That's true. That's why IKEA exists.
That's
Yeah.
right. How to
Awesome.
live in 500 square feet.
How long have you lived at Litchfield Park?
This was my 7th summer.
Okay.
And every summer I'm like, what am I doing here? Why am I here?
Yeah.
It's
It's so
brutal.
funny that Arizonans sound so old-timey when you talk about time. I've lived here for 3 summers. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really,
So get
it's
this
really fun.
though, we've been 100 days over 100 degrees.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Wow.
Last year the record was 31 days over 110.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
it is
Yeah, but it's
crazy.
a dry heat. Come on.
It is not. People say that, but in the summer they have monsoons. It's not dry. It's very humid. Probably
All right.
30-40% humidity.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you are not burning to a crisp, what do you do there in Litchfield Park?
I'm a project manager for the HPM Ready team at a semiconductor job site.
Oh, okay. And
I can't say the name because I signed an NDA, but
Hmm.
wow.
And this is going to go worldwide, so we don't want to get in
yes,
trouble with that.
Yeah,
yes.
we don't. Do you want to? So do you have a team that works that works under you, that kind of thing?
Yeah, at the beginning of the first project that we were working on, we had about 13 on our team, and we're down to the last little bit of the project. So there's 3 of us now.
Oh, okay. So
So
they move people off to other things as their
yeah,
part gets
I mean,
done.
yeah, that's the construction industry. When a job wraps up, you move on to the next one, and it's
Okay.
just what you do.
And there's
Very good.
always the next one.
Yeah.
There's no
I worked
concern.
for a company for like 25 years. And about 3 years ago, this opportunity came up to switch companies and go to this semiconductor job. And I knew nothing about semiconductor, but total leap of faith, and it was life-changing. It's been incredible.
Awesome.
Really good. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
HPM, what does that mean?
So it's hazardous production material.
Oh, okay.
So semiconductors, very heavy chemical and gas usage.
Oh,
And as you're building a building, and you want to get those chemicals to the high purity level that you need it to be, you try and negotiate with the jurisdiction to let you bring chemicals and gas in before construction's done and do that safely. That's what
Okay.
our team does.
That's the
So
whole thing. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've learned so much. So
Well,
much.
thank you for helping us avoid a meltdown. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And that the job, you'll be able to Google and figure out who it is, but the job has global impact. So
Okay.
it's really been cool to be on the front lines and see that. And just, having been in the construction industry and see something on this scale, like for instance, probably during the summer last year, peak head count, there were 12,000 people on the job site.
Wow.
Cool.
12 times Grace, Idaho
Yeah.
number of people. So
Wow.
No pressure.
Yeah, really.
yeah, I mean, it's been culturally an experience, job site an experience, just career making. So I'm very fortunate, very excited about that.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And when does your project like end? Do you know, is there like a time for it?
That's
Well,
the
It'll end?
construction business. They say it's going to end, but then it never ends, right?
yeah, that's absolutely in the construction industry. My gut's telling me end of the year I'll be
Okay.
moving on to my next project,
Okay.
and I don't know what that is.
Is this
at
your
this
first
point.
project with this company?
Yeah, first and
Okay.
only. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Very good.
Started November 1st, 3 years ago. So we're
Okay.
coming up on the third year, and just
Yeah.
the company's incredible. And the guy that I work for has been such a great mentor and teacher. And so
Excellent.
really
That's
fortunate.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So tell us about your family.
So Bailey, my oldest, she'll be 34 next Saturday. She lives in Oregon. She
Where
works
at?
for just outside of Portland in a town called Tigard, but it's kind of southwest of Portland.
I've heard of Tiger. Do you know my daughter served a mission in that area and she was in Tiger a few years ago.
Wow.
I wonder if she ran into my parents.
I'll have to ask her if she met any Sanders
Yeah.
in Tiger. Have her check her journal.
Yeah,
I'll do
exactly.
that. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So she works for a healthcare recruiting company, and she started with them just as COVID was taking off, which was quite fortunate for her because all of those crazy nursing contracts, she got commission off of those. So
Oh, wow.
she's doing very well, really
Awesome.
thriving. Yeah. And then Parker, my son, is in Reno. He's 27. He works for Lowe's. He does like outside sales. So if you want to buy cabinets or windows or carpet, he goes and does the measurements and then closes the deal.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
He actually started that just a little bit ago, and he really likes it. He's really tall and charming, and I'm like, Parker, old ladies don't stand a chance with you. You walk in their door, they can't say no to you. So
Awesome.
cute. Yeah.
Awesome. Does he like Reno?
I don't think so. He's always, because we moved to Reno, so I left from Portland to move to Reno
Oh,
and
okay.
then moved here. So Reno was the intermediary, and he graduated from high school there, and his girlfriend's there. So he talks about not wanting to be there, but she's
Yeah.
really close to her family, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think
He'll end up there probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
maybe.
Probably
Maybe.
so.
Yeah. And then Kennedy is 26. It sounds like Parker and Kennedy are only a year apart. They're actually 22 months apart, but they're 1 year. It sounds like 1 year apart right now. So she lives here in Phoenix on the other side of town. She actually lives in Tempe over by ASU on the other side of ASU.
Okay.
And she got married in April. So she's technically an Agnor now. She's not a Riggs anymore.
Okay.
So yeah, her
Very
and
good.
her husband both work for a company called Flair. It's like a tech startup, but they sell legal services. I don't know a ton about it, but like if you want to draft up a will,
Oh, like
you
direct
call
legal
Flair
services.
and you
Oh,
buy
got it.
a package.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then the tech part of it is the app connects the
Yeah.
attorneys
Okay.
to the client. So
I've
It's
seen
a,
those companies come up.
I think people are having a hard time understanding it because normally you would pay a retainer to an
Yeah,
attorney. So
yeah.
I think it's a cost savings
Seems like a good
for,
idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the company really exists for the tech, not necessarily the legal
Okay.
services.
Got
So
it.
yeah,
Got it.
that's why I say it's tech startup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then my youngest, Hayden, she's 21. She just moved to Louisville, Kentucky,
Ooh,
to go to PA school, physician assistant school.
nice.
So she's just finishing up her first semester and she'll be home next weekend for a 2-week break.
Okay. Awesome.
Super, super intense. Really proud of her.
Yeah. PA schools are highly competitive and it's a
Yeah.
very popular line of work.
Yeah, and the school that she's going to, they condense basically 2.5 years down into 2.
Mm,
So it's
heavy load.
really intense. Yeah.
Cool.
Did she
Yep.
do undergraduate somewhere else or?
Yeah, she went to ASU. She
Okay.
graduated from ASU.
Sun Devil is the what school is the PA school associated with, or is it associated with a larger college?
It's a small private school. It's
Okay.
called Sullivan University, and that's what actually, I think they have a pharmacy program too,
Okay.
but she has like 60 students in her class and they go through the whole program together. It's
Cool.
really cool. Yeah,
Does
Have
she
you been-
does she like Louisville?
she does. I think it's her and Kennedy are very close. I think it's a little hard for her to be
Hmm.
far away from home, but yeah, she's got great roommates that she really likes and definitely knows that she picked the right career path. But I'm sure late at night when she's studying at 9 o'clock, she's wondering if that's truly the case. But yeah, she doesn't really
Awesome.
have much time to do a lot of fun things in Louisville, but
Yeah. It's a nice town. I've only been there once for a conference, but struck
been
me
there
as a
too.
really cool town.
So if you haven't heard, in Louisville, they have something called a hot brown.
absolutely had a hot brown.
You've
So
had
good.
one?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, so good.
Have you had that, Corky?
No, no,
It's
I don't even want to know what it is.
Really,
No, I'm
It's
kidding.
like-
What is it?
so sad.
there's turkey, there's gravy, there's bread, there's
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like
It's like an
bread.
open-faced turkey sandwich.
Yeah,
but
with
big.
gravy on top
Okay.
and potatoes, mashed potatoes and gravy.
Oh, potatoes too.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
amazing, but it's not good for you, but it's good.
But
Well,
yeah, so good.
it actually sounds pretty good. I think I'm
Yeah.
sold on the, what is it
That's-
called? Just a brown?
Hot brown,
Big-
hot
hot
brown.
brown.
So
brown.
the story is there was a place called the Brown Hotel,
Yep.
and someone came up with this concoction, and then they call it a hot brown.
How about
Somebody was probably high late at night and they went down to the kitchen and the only thing they could find was bread,
Potato,
turkey.
bread.
that? Let's just put it in a
Blend it all
pile
together.
and name it.
They probably take a nap in the middle of eating it. It's like, okay, this is really good, but I can't stay awake.
It does
Yeah.
sound heavy. Yeah.
It's a lot of food, yes.
It's like Thanksgiving dinner, but with bread.
But
Also.
but it so doesn't taste like Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
It's got its own
Okay.
unique flavor, very rich, wouldn't you say, Nolan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
All
I'm
right.
surprised. How do you know about hot brown?
Me?
Yeah.
I used to work for Humana, which is based in Louisville.
Oh, okay.
So I've been to Louisville one time.
Gotcha. I was surprised at how big Churchill Downs was.
Yeah, it didn't
And
go
the
on
fact
there.
that it's right in the middle of a neighborhood. I don't know what I thought,
Huh.
but I wasn't expecting it to be
Were you
right in the middle.
Were you there during Derby time?
No, no. We were there probably 2 months before checking out the school. I actually thought the same thing about the Alamo in San Antonio. I'm like,
It's
there's
tiny.
street lights.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
like right
you expect to
downtown.
ride up in horse and buggy.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, good.
Awesome. What about pets? You know any pets?
I do. They're laying here at my feet. I have a golden retriever named Charlie. She's 7. And then I have a small min pin chihuahua named Tess, and she's 11 or 12. She's a grumpy old lady.
Okay.
Min pin.
Yeah. Min pin chihuahua.
Miniature.
miniature pinscher Chihuahua.
Pincher.
So yeah, she's a Chihuahua with really long legs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, has that Chihuahua attitude,
Right.
but
Yeah,
long legs.
we have a Ratchie, which is a rat terrier Chihuahua.
Mhm. Yeah,
Hmm.
Ratchie.
Ratchie. That's what they call
Okay.
them, Ratchie. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're fantastic. Good pets.
Good.
Yeah.
I
All
think so
right.
far
So,
everybody's had pets, right? I don't know that there's been nobody that have
yeah.
any
Well,
pets.
just me.
You don't have any.
What?
I thought
No.
you had a cat. You guys had a cat.
I've never had a cat. What's
No.
wrong with you? Do you know me at all? Cat.
I'm gonna have to
What
go
are we
back and
talking
watch
about a
episode
cat?
1.
Yeah, go watch episode 1. No, we had dogs for years,
Oh,
but
okay,
we
dog.
rehomed our dog
That's
this
right.
past spring because without kids in the home, we just couldn't run her enough.
Right.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
kind of dog was it?
Um, she was my blank.
Did we
Sounds
talk
like I
about
was
it?
really
I
close to
think
this
we did talk
dog.
about it in the first
Yeah,
episode.
she was pointer, German short hair.
Oh yeah, they need a lot of
Yeah, and so I
exercise.
would take her. I
That's
would take her
right.
most mornings up until this past spring and just let her go in a meadow. And
Yeah,
she'd run around the meadow while I ran around the meadow, and we'd meet up at the truck after. But then I couldn't run as much, and
yeah.
he couldn't run as much. So,
I remember
Do you
this.
ever get to see her?
you know, we can because a family
It
of
was an
ours that
open
we know took
adoption.
her. Yeah, in a way, yeah. Yeah, it was open. We just put her on a national site. I can't remember what it's like. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like it was attached to our Humane Society. It was just a national site, and we just put it on there. And then a lady got her, a lady here in town, but then her pointer, her German short hair wasn't having it, and they were fighting. So
Oh, shoot.
she rehomed her, and in the meantime, friends of ours wanted her. So now she's with friends of ours, and we get to see
Oh,
her.
good.
They
Good.
changed her name. How do you feel about that? They changed her name.
Yeah, that's weird. It's kind of selfish. It's for them, not her. Did she
Yeah.
figure it out?
Yeah, I don't think she cares. This dog was like a cat in a dog's body in a way because she's very aloof. And, I felt like I had a business relationship with this dog. It's like, you take me running and feed me, and I live in your house, and that's how it's going to be.
It's a
And so,
fantastic arrangement for her part.
yeah, so we didn't really ever bond. So I don't think she really cares what she gets called.
Hmm.
So, yeah, she's
Sometimes I
fine.
don't think they actually understand that that's their name. It's the tone.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I could
Yeah,
say, "Here, cucumber."
yeah,
They
yeah.
would come.
I think you're right.
So we have a question for you
Uh-oh.
based on what you're talking about.
Okay.
Do you go more now by Chelle or Ocean?
Well, at work, I'm Rochelle, but family has always called me Chelle.
Did
Okay.
friends
So
call you
on this,
Chelle? I
what's
think
that?
friends called you Chelle growing up. I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
ever, but I
Yeah.
think I remember that now that you say it.
Yeah.
Like
Amy
more
for
girls.
sure did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
girls called you Chelle.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
guess we
Well,
weren't close
we
enough
never
friends.
got into that inner circle, the shell circle. Yeah,
Maybe
we're
after
the
this,
row part.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we can.
We'll see how this episode goes, whether
Yeah,
we're allowed to call you Chelle or Rochelle.
That's
right.
right.
But
That's right.
so based on pets, if you adopt a pet at the pound and they've already named it, you think that they should stick with that name?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
But I think like a family that has loved a dog and given it that name,
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Well,
Because I
and
don't think like a dog that gets dropped off at the pound, they just make up a name. It's
Yeah.
not
yeah,
out
the
of
pound.
endearment or
Yeah.
anything. It's just, oh, here's the next name on the list. Let's call him this.
No.
Yeah.
The funny story with our dog Jenny, she was rescued by the Humane Society, and there were two German Shorthairs, and they were found running around South Helena,
Mm.
and they named them Forrest and Jenny because they would run away all the time. And we adopted Jenny and just kept the name because we don't care. And
I
so yeah,
love
now
that.
she's June now. She's June. She's not Jenny.
Junie. Cute.
Junie. Yeah. All right. So catch us up from May 1989 till Litchfield Park. Fill us in. You've told us a
Wow.
few places, but fill us in.
It's
Okay.
time machine time.
I know. So I went to Utah State and I lived with some family friends in Smithfield.
Oh yeah.
and
Cool.
drove into school. And it's friends who I'm still very, very close with. The daughter is, I call her my sister from another mister. So it
Becca?
was great. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So went to school. Trying to think what year I was when I had Bailey. I don't remember. Anyway, had Bailey, was still going to school.
34 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Do the math. I was trying
Yeah.
to figure out what year I was
Second or
in
third year
in
at
90 or
Utah
school.
90,
State.
Yeah.
90 or 91.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was working at a place that makes home fitness equipment, and I met Proform. You probably have heard of it.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Met
Jeff Stokes, I
Brandon.
think, said he worked there.
Yeah. And we got married, and shortly we were only been married for a couple of months, and then we moved to Columbus, Ohio for that company.
Oh, okay.
He transferred over there with them and lived there for just probably about a year and a half. We weren't there very long. It was hard. It was really hard. We'd just gotten married, moved 2,000 miles away,
Don't
trying
know
to figure out how to be married, trying to figure out how to be parents together.
Yeah.
The heat and the humidity, it was hard. So we
Yeah.
decided not to stay and then left from there and went to Portland, Oregon. My brother was up there and he's like, come up and we'll find jobs and stay here for a bit. So we ended up being there for 16 years.
Hmm.
And in part of that time, we had Parker and Kenna and Hayden, and then got divorced and still had kids at home. And Brandon's new wife transferred to Reno. And because we still had kids at home, I just didn't want them to have to be going back and forth between
Yeah.
Portland and Reno. So I went too and was able to stay with the same company, and it was great. I went kicking and screaming. I didn't want to move to Reno. My exposure to Reno was basically Reno 911. And I didn't want my
That's
kids
awesome.
to grow up there.
That's not good exposure.
No, that's not great.
No. Or, I'd been to it's called the student competition, construction student competition, but it was in Reno every year, and I'd go every year. And it's just the downtown area is not great, but we lived on the south end of town, and the kids had fantastic friends, and we had ski passes every year to Mount Rose, and another half an hour over the mountain we were at Lake Tahoe. So I loved it. I ended up really liking it there. And then Paula, she transferred down here. And actually, the last year that I lived in Reno, I was traveling down here for work. So it made sense that we all moved down here.
Okay.
And yeah, Hayden she was still in school. So here we are.
Awesome.
Yeah. Bounced around a little bit, but have really, other than Columbus, really loved every place that I've been, and been very fortunate to meet really great family and friends. And so it's been good.
That's a great example of all of the parents putting the kids first. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how did you, so you started at Utah State. Did you graduate?
Oh, no. No, we got married and I had probably about a year left. And it was always my thought that wherever we land, I'll end up going. But then, life happened and
You didn't need to graduate.
yeah. But I've laughed when you guys have talked, because I was actually in the journalism program with a specialization in PR. So a lot of the stuff that you guys have talked about, I'm like, oh yeah, I get that. Like your communications and
Yeah.
yeah.
But you've done well in your career that a degree. So nowadays a degree is, do we need it or not? Or, so.
It's never been an issue anywhere that I've gone. So, and I feel like I'm definitely good at words. Math is not my forte. So I've been able to capitalize that everywhere I've gone and kind of expand on that skill a little bit. So
good.
Yeah.
So when you moved, you were with the Proform or whatever it was called in Ohio? And when you
in Logan and then in Ohio. I didn't work for them in Ohio. This is so bizarre. I forgot about this. I worked for a guy who did screened in patios and windows, and he was truly just in business to make money to do IndyCar racing. He had an IndyCar and
Awesome.
he was a wannabe race car driver.
He's from the Midwest.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where you first got your exposure to the construction industry.
No, actually, if you go way back to Smithfield,
Oh,
when I was in school and working before I went to Proform, I worked for I think it was a civil contractor who was doing some new sewer and water additions in the infrastructure in Smithfield.
okay.
So I mean, I absolutely I want to grow up and be in construction. Construction found me for sure and has treated me very, very well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it wasn't your dream job, but
No.
it worked out.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done all sorts of things. When I lived in Reno, I worked for the construction company, but I actually worked for their aviation group and I did all of their trade shows. So I went to
You traveled.
incredible places on company money. And I was also part of their logistics team for their management meeting. And it was, management meeting of the top 500 people. The budget for the event was like 1.5 million. So I got to plan this incredible party every year and spend someone else's money. So
There you go.
Awesome.
it was really fun, really fun. But then
Very
I
good.
transitioned into the construction side, which talk about imposter syndrome. I don't know what I'm doing, but figured it out and had great people teaching me. So it's really good.
Well,
Awesome.
obviously to be the manager of, you said 13 other people or?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's such a unique niche opportunity, and it doesn't happen in a lot of other industries. It's primarily semiconductor focused because the chemicals have to be such high purity. It takes months to get to that point. So they have to start early in the process. And when we first started out there, we had to basically educate the client, the owner, that this is how you're going to have to do it. We had to educate the city of Phoenix that this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to do it safely, and then educate all the contractors. So it was a lot of teaching.
There was a lot of PR in what you do.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you didn't need the piece of paper. You already knew what to do. So
Well, and I tell people that I can walk into a room of 1,000 people and walk out with 1,000 new friends. I can communicate and relate to people very easily. So that's been my superpower.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Noel, I think we're to your questions.
yeah. Are you ready for favorites?
Sure.
What is your favorite food?
Oh, well, I'm not ready for that one.
Okay, you can start with something else.
No, I just,
It's not a hot brown then.
no, I wouldn't say that.
And it's
Maybe
not
a
corn.
chili relleno. I can't say that, but I love to eat that.
Okay. Chili relleno.
Relleno.
There
Yeah.
you go. Muy bien.
Yeah. So
Right.
I like to, whenever we go to a Mexican restaurant, I like to try that to compare it to others and search out the best that I have. There's a taco shop here that's really incredible. It was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives
Sure.
that they have their tacos they're like street tacos.
Yeah.
Really good.
So obviously the Valley of the Sun has good Mexican food. We can
Yeah.
assume so.
Yeah. I wouldn't say oh, that's my favorite, but I do eat a lot of that.
That's what you
But
go for.
I love Indian, I love Ethiopian. That's what I would say. I like to try new things.
So tell us, I know I think there's Ethiopian here in San Antonio, but I haven't had it. What would be an Ethiopian?
So Ethiopian, I don't remember what the name it's basically like a big pancake, like the size of a big platter.
Okay.
And it's thin and it's kind of tangy. And they don't give you utensils, and you would order like a lamb dish and maybe a beef dish and some vegetables, and you peel off part of that pancake and scoop up your whatever bite you're going to take. And that's the avenue of getting food to your mouth, is that pancake.
Like a tortilla.
It's good stuff.
Kind of. Yeah.
Or a pita, or
Yeah. Yeah.
or a naan or whatever.
Yeah, it is like
Yep.
naan.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
throughout the world, we all do the same thing. We just call it different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Bread,
US, we have
carbs,
bread,
meat
and
and veggies.
right. So,
Yeah.
so what do you wash that down with? What's your favorite beverage?
Oh, so it has to be highly, highly carbonated and over iced. Like it has to be a lot of ice. So I was laughing at Brett Keller. He considers himself a mixologist.
Yes.
I do too, but with sodas or like flavored lemonades and I have a soda stream, so I control my level of carbonation.
Okay.
And then I have a nugget ice maker, so I can control the volume of ice that I need. So
Okay.
Wow.
that's my specialty.
Very specific.
Yeah, my kids make fun of me because of my drinks. They make fun of me for a lot of other things too, but
That's one of them.
that's a big one.
What's your
Yeah.
what's your favorite thing to put with lemonade flavor?
Ooh, like a
Like a
blueberry
cherry? Blueberry.
lemonade
Never
or a
had blueberry.
lavender. Lavender lemonade
What's
is
lavender is a color. What is that?
really, you don't know a lavender bush?
No.
I think I've smelled one before, but
Yeah.
Lavender.
they have a
Okay,
strong
so it's
smell, right?
okay.
You can steep it into like a simple syrup and add
Okay.
that to lemonade. It's
Okay.
delicious. Delicious.
Okay.
That's
gonna
that in an iced coffee is also really one of my faves.
Okay.
Well, you're in the Valley of the Sun. You're going to need that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I learned something. I'm gonna ask
You
for a
use the word
lavender lemonade.
You use the
Yeah.
word steep. You
Steep.
That's what you do
steep it?
with that's the
It's
right?
like with tea, you steep
Yeah.
tea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You
I'm learning
basically
new
put
things.
something in a liquid and then it fuses the flavor.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never steeped anything, so I don't know.
Missing out, man.
Now I know. So after you've had your lavender lemonade with your chile relleno, what do you have for dessert?
When you put these all together, it sounds awful. Like I would never eat all of those together, but there's a bakery down the street for me that has an espresso bundt cake
Hmm.
with coffee ice cream.
Okay.
Okay.
Chef's
Good
kiss.
stuff.
It's so good.
Awesome.
So you wouldn't like Uber Eats all three together and
Oh
have
gosh, no, that's terrible. If you were delivering it, I might.
Oh, okay. Well, you wouldn't want to pay my bill for me to deliver that all the way from San Antonio. So,
I totally would do that.
any questions, Corky, or
No, we're good.
what
We
she
can move
likes
on.
to eat?
Yeah. Well, I got my answer with what lavender is, so I'm
Yeah.
satisfied.
And now I know what steep means.
Question.
Give Me Grace, a podcast by Alan and Nolan, will return after these brief messages.
Do you like corn dogs? Yes! Okay, good. Because our sponsor is the corn dog company. If you were going to have a corn dog, what would you have on your corn dog?
Ketchup! I mean, it's all right. Like,
Huh? I tried honey on it, and it was pretty good.
yes, yes.
Look on the internet and find your nearest corn dog company. The corn dog company, get some corn dogs.
Please, right now, today.
Now back to this episode of Give Me Grace, a podcast by Alan and Nolan.
Okay. What are your favorite hobbies? Sounds like skiing,
Oh.
but you can't ski very much there where you're at.
Yeah, I definitely am a winter sports girl. When we lived in Reno, we had just started snowshoeing the year that we left. It was incredible, so fun. There's up above Tahoe, there's a snowshoeing area called Chickadee Ridge. You'd hike up there with your snowshoes and you'd put sunflower seeds in your hands and put them out like that, and the birds would just land and eat out of your hand.
Mhm.
It's incredible.
That's cool.
So in Phoenix, what kind of hobbies do you do? Since do you have to go to Flagstaff to ski, or what do you
Yeah, and I haven't since I've been here.
busy?
It's never cold enough. It doesn't feel like
Mm.
ski season.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So we did, when we were in Reno, we also did a lot of like kayaking and paddleboarding. I'm looking at them right now. They sit in my living room.
Mm.
And there's a lake not far from here, but it's like a party lake. So there's a lot of
yeah.
pontoon boats and
Right.
skiers, and it's just
Yeah.
not safe to be on that water with a kayak. So I really haven't. There's a couple hours north, there's a town called Prescott,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and they have a lake called Watson Lake. It's not better than Tahoe, but it's incredible. And there's no shoreline. It's just these great big granite dells that come down into the water.
Mhm.
It's beautiful. So
Awesome.
yeah. The
The
first
water.
summer I lived here, I worked on a project up there and I stayed up there all summer and it was glorious. It was really fun. It's cooler up there because the elevation's higher and was 5 minutes from that lake. So
Nice.
yeah.
So we talked about your hobbies currently, but I know you, so in high school you skied a lot. Did
I
you
did.
start skiing as an early age with family, or is that?
Yeah, there's a funny story about that. The very first time I went skiing, my brother was teaching me,
Mhm.
and my mom was worried about him teaching me because he's my older brother and he's going to pick on his little sister. And so my mom was worried that he was going to be mean to me. So she's in the lodge. We were trying to ski down this mountain, and about halfway down, we stopped and we're there for a long time. And she's wondering what's going on? What is he being mean to her? But I had my boots on the wrong feet. So
Oh.
and I just kept telling him like this hurts. I don't want to do it. And he's like, "Oh, your boots are in the wrong feet." So he sat me down in the middle of the slope, helped me change my boots. So that was probably sixth grade.
Okay.
Okay.
So I started skiing in sixth grade. I remember one time we went with Chelle. I was thinking about that when she was talking about it. She and I went to Beaver
Mhm.
to ski, and we decided we were going to be brave and ski on the backside and ski on the outskirts to where we were seeing signs of avalanche. Do not
Yeah.
ski out here. And we're like, yeah, we better
Mm.
hightail it back over to the real side. But it was fun.
Whose idea was it?
I'm not going to say. I'm not
Okay.
going to implicate anyone.
You're not going to implicate Shelley in that one? Okay.
No,
Because it was a
it was a mutual
it was you or
decision.
her, so
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
maybe
yeah,
we'll
it
leave
was
that
fun.
alone. All right. So we're going to talk about music now,
Okay.
and we want to know, what did you listen to in high school and what do you listen to now?
Trying to remember in high school. The first concert I ever went to was right out of high school, and it was Erasure.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
think a
That
bunch of us
Erasure.
went to that Erasure concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
I
don't.
didn't go, but I know a bunch of people did.
Yeah, I remember, Nolan. I don't know if you remember this. It was either in fifth or sixth grade. I think it was sixth grade.
Okay.
You were already in the classroom when the Grace bus got there.
Okay.
And you were straddling a big garbage can, and up on the file cabinet right next to you, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts was
Yes.
playing.
Yes.
And you looked down in the garbage can and there was a bat in the garbage can.
I don't remember the bat. Maybe I do remember the bat.
There was a bat.
That's funny that you remember that, because the Thatcher bus would get there early and Mr. McGregor would let us play music.
Mhm.
'Cause he loved music too.
Yeah, he was great.
I always thought that was cool. Like, did he was in a band, I think he told us.
I
back
think
in
so. I
back in
think
the
so.
day.
Yeah.
So here's the 3 songs that we would listen to every morning.
Yeah.
I love rock and roll. We would listen to that one. We would listen to We Are the Robots by Kraftwerk.
Never heard of that
And
one.
we would try to dance like robots, you know.
Can you sing a little ditty?
It's not a song it's like, we are the robots, do, 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 like that. And it's just like, it's really
Sounds awful.
it's electronic. That's my brother's influence, my older brother.
Gotcha.
And then we would listen to, it's not called We Don't Need No Education, but that's
We don't need no
Oh,
education.
some Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd. That's right. And I know my kids would tell me that's not the name of the song, Dad, but That's what
That's
we
how you remember it. That's
Hey,
awesome.
teachers, leave those
Leave
kids
those kids
alone.
alone.
Right. So we would listen to those 3 songs every morning.
That's
Wow.
hilarious.
Were you
Was
guys-
it on a cassette tape?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Somebody made a mixtape,
Either that or we would just put in the 3 different tapes or something.
right?
Like that. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't remember exactly, but
This is craft work.
Kraftwerk.
Oh, yeah.
Work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Kinda like-
recollection of that one at
No.
all.
Yeah.
Nope.
But if you want to hear something good, pull out "We Are the Robots" by Kraftwerk.
Okay.
You didn't tell us yet what you like.
You said
I
Erasure.
honestly,
Oh,
yeah,
Erasure.
I
You
don't,
went to the Erasure concert.
yeah, I don't
Remember who you went
remember.
with to the Erasure concert?
Yeah, my sister Rebecca.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was tons of people. That was like one of the biggest concerts I ever attended at Park City. It was like the traffic was horrendous trying to get out of that place.
Yeah. Yeah, it was quite eye-opening. I was pretty naive.
It was eye-opening. Yeah, it was for sure.
Yeah.
So maybe that kind of music in high school.
Yeah, little alternative, probably.
And now what?
I don't reach for music first. I'm
Okay.
either listening to a podcast or an audio book.
Okay. Good.
But if I do listen to music, like I go through and I find something I like and I listen to it and
Mhm.
listen to it and listen to it till I get sick of it.
Okay.
No.
And my listen to right now is Bob Marley.
Oh, okay.
Could do
Yeah.
worse.
Just
I
like
watched,
best of Bob Marley or something, or
well, I watched One Love on the
Okay.
airplane ride back from Salt Lake when I was there with my dad, and
Mhm.
it's great. It's an incredible story. And his music, it's just, love, peace, be a good human.
yeah,
So
It
yeah,
makes you feel good to listen to it.
yeah.
It does.
yeah.
You can't help
We
but move.
were-
too.
We were on a job walk today and I had a little song in my heart and I was singing that song. And so everybody on my team today was singing Bob Marley.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Corky, you're gonna have to bear with us because Rochelle and I have been talking about Mrs. Skinner, who was our music
Yeah.
teacher in elementary school.
Okay.
She was incredible.
So-
Did you ever have her, Corky, or do you remember?
I don't remember. I
Oh,
only went to Thatcher for first and second grade, so I don't know.
So we're gonna play a little game,
okay.
and Corky, you're gonna have to bear with us.
Let's go do your thing.
All right. So we're gonna call this Charlotte Skinner's music class. Name that tune.
Okay.
And we're not going to play a song and name it. What we're going to do is we're going to take turns and see who could name the most songs. Because I think Rochelle or Chelle knows more
You haven't earned
of
that
these
yet.
songs than I.
What are you doing?
I haven't earned it yet. Rochelle, sorry, excuse me. Okay, so I'll let you go first. Name one of the songs that she taught us in elementary school.
Okay. I actually heard one the other day and immediately thought of you, but I wanted to save it for this.
Okay.
Am I telling you the name of the song?
Name the songs or the first line of the lyrics.
How about One-Eyed, One-Horned, Flying Purple People Eater?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Do you remember that song, Cookie? The Purple
No. Well, I
People?
remember the song, sure, but
Okay.
not
Oh, yeah.
not in a Mrs. Skinner sense.
Okay.
She was incredible. I can still see her up at the front of the stage just plunking away at those keys.
Yeah.
She was so enthusiastic and
And she
man,
played,
she was,
they say that there's a honky tonk style. I
yeah.
think she played a honky tonk style.
Yeah, never
Like,
once looked at her
very-
fingers or
Right.
just,
Like Jerry Lee Lewis, you'd be looking somewhere else while you're playing. You're not just playing them, you're like pounding them almost.
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Okay, very good. El Paso. Out in the West
Texas town of El
Oh,
Paso.
okay. All right.
I fell in love with a Mexican girl.
There you go.
Nice.
Your turn.
Okay. Laura and Tommy.
Yes.
Who cheat on this one because this is one of the ones that we talked about. Yeah.
Sing a line of it or no?
No, I'm sure I'm probably like freaking everybody out by singing.
Well, we can say, we don't have to sing, we can just say the words, but I remember in that song it says, now in the chapel, Laura prays for her Tommy who passed away.
It was just for Laura. He lived and died alone in the chapel. She can hear him cry.
Wow.
Tell Laura I love her.
Tell
Yeah.
Laura I need her.
Tell
Tell
Laura not to
Laura
cry.
not to cry.
My
My
love
love for her
will
will
never.
never die.
Okay.
Wow. Wow. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hold your hand from the Beatles.
Mm,
Do you remember that?
mm.
I
I
think
mean,
it
I
was
certainly know the
sixth,
song, but I don't remember
yeah.
singing that with
I
her.
think that was sixth grade because we were going to do a little talent show. And for the talent show, there were going to be 4 people who got to pretend to be the Beatles.
Fun.
And I don't remember who those 4 were.
I don't either.
I wanted to be one of them, but I wasn't.
Sure, we all did.
So I Want to Hold Your Hand was one of them. I don't remember if she taught us any other Beatles song. I was thinking maybe she did, but I don't.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah. Okay. So your turn.
Okay, so let me set the stage. 4th grade, state history,
Okay.
Sacagawea.
Is there a song? Is that her song?
In
Really?
1804, brave Lewis and Clark left shore, the West to explore where no one before had been to seek the mysteries of this land.
Wow. I don't remember that one.
Really?
But we had Idaho history that year, so that makes sense.
Charbonneau had a wife named
Yes.
Sacagawea.
Okay, now I remember that.
She was an Indian,
girl.
the Shoshone Indian.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my gosh.
I think somebody taught us how to do the maypole dance in 4th grade
Yes.
too.
And we had to learn how to square dance too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
fun.
Wow. Awesome.
Downtown, you mentioned.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we both talked about
that
that.
song, Quirky, Downtown?
Yeah.
When You're
Yeah.
Alone. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
70s. 60s maybe.
Yeah.
Which would have made it one of the newer ones that you guys learned by my count.
She definitely played the songs that she liked.
They were the classics. Yeah, they got some good
Yeah.
classics in there.
There's so many times where in the background or just a little phrase will pop into my head, and
Yeah.
I immediately go back to Thatcher Elementary, sitting on the stage with Mrs. Skinner.
Can you smell the smell?
Yeah. Not great.
And we were close to the lunchroom, so if like lunch was being made, you're like, that smells good. Okay, so then, your turn.
I think I'm out.
Really?
Yeah. Do you have the book?
No.
Oh.
Blowing in the Wind.
Hmm.
We learned that one.
The ants are my friends. They're blowing.
Big Iron, I think, was another.
Oh, wow. You are doing great. You wrote these down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to. And then Bismarck. I don't remember exactly how that one goes, but we're going to say Bismarck.
I've got one.
Okay.
Nolan on the river.
Yes. Good memories.
So fun.
I think we covered all the ones I can remember.
Yeah. So she was,
well done.
Yeah, what a treat.
Yeah. We're trying to get her to come on and do an episode, but maybe that'll have to be down the road a little ways.
Yeah, be great. I'd love to see her and chat with her.
Yeah. All right. Back to you, Corky.
Okay. We're just going to go in the Wayback Machine now, where we've been the last few minutes.
Yeah.
The question is, did you attend Thatcher or Grace? So I guess the question for you is, did you ever attend Grace Elementary? Was it always Thatcher?
No, sir.
Always Thatcher from town.
Yeah, my mom worked, and so did my dad. So they sent us to Thatcher because they knew where we'd be before and after school. We were on the bus.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, give you more time before and after school. It's like the big yellow daycare. That's awesome.
Randy Kirby's mom and Randy Kirby's dad, actually.
Yes.
What a great plan. Yeah.
Yeah. Smart people.
Yeah.
Where did you catch the bus?
So I don't know if you remember LeVar Taylor.
Yeah.
So it was probably about 3 blocks up from our house. His house was on the right-hand side. And it was like Tina and her little brother Lance.
Yes.
Me, I think Corey
David Miller.
went to Thatcher. So he lived right down the street. And there was a
David
little
Miller.
grove of trees that we could go in on the cold days, and it was warmer in that little grove of trees waiting for the bus.
David Miller
Awesome.
went to Thatcher.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the time, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. I was going to ask something about that, but I can't remember what it was now.
You're gonna ask her if she thought that Thatcher was wild.
Wild.
Oh, yeah. So the stories we got from Grace, especially like sixth grade, we're just like, that can't actually be happening down there, can it?
So did any of those stories involve a large inner tube with 12 kids on it sledding
That-
down the hill?
Yeah, it's not the
Yeah.
ones we focused on, but yeah,
yeah.
there was
That's not
also
real.
that.
That didn't happen.
Yeah. That's the keeping you up at night one right there.
So the one we've been telling is the Jared Rasmussen inside of the tube going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was
Or, you weren't allowed to go up over the top of the hill and back behind the hill,
the
but
fence, the barbed wire
did.
fence. Yeah.
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so you could say that you went past the fence, basically. Do you remember the sixth grade dance? No? You
Don't.
probably tried to block that out of your memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do
There
you
was a-
remember about it?
There was a circle. We would make a circle, and then someone would go into the circle and kiss.
Yeah,
Because
I know.
the teachers would never figure out what was going on.
I
Right.
wasn't in that circle.
Yeah.
I would have remembered that.
Do you have any JJ Donnelly stories about Thatcher? No.
He was probably my first kiss.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Behind the hill.
Over there.
That's right.
That's
There
those.
was a hut,
These are
right?
the apocryphal stories that we were hearing about in Grace. We're like, we're not having any fun up here. What's going on down there?
Was that in fourth
Yeah.
grade?
No, that was sixth grade.
Sixth grade,
Sixth grade.
free for all down there.
Yeah.
It was
I
wild.
remember field days. Remember field days?
Yes.
Field days.
I
Yeah.
loved field days.
Remember field days?
Running down to the bottom of the hill and back up. That was the race.
Yeah. If you don't fall down because your legs are going so fast you can't keep up. Or that was
Yeah.
probably just me.
That was, going to Thatcher was a treat. It was quite an experience and great teachers and great friends, and it was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I remember being sad when I couldn't go to Thatcher anymore because we moved. We always lived around Niter during those times.
Mhm.
And so we moved when I was in second grade, I think, like over by just up the road from Jane Ann.
Mm.
And my mom had to drive me down to the highway to catch the bus. But then the next year she was pregnant with my brother Chris. So it's his fault I couldn't go to Thatcher anymore. I had to, because the Grace bus went right by our house. So I had to catch that one. And I was Grace. And then we moved to town a couple years later.
Yeah, I've heard you say that you lived out of town. I only remember you living in town.
Oh yeah, we lived in about 7 houses
Wow, really?
north and west of town. Yeah. Yeah. Until we bought that house in Grace. Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents.
I helped with the down payment.
Yeah, I was pointing stuff out in the inspection. Yeah. Let's
You don't
move
anything
to
more about the JJ Donnelly first kiss, or that's sufficient?
Wow, why?
I don't know. Just memory
No,
lane.
so I don't remember where I was going. I think I was flying back from somewhere, and the lady next to me, and I'm chitty chatty, and she introduced herself, and her last name was Donnelly.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, my first boyfriend was Donnelly. And she's like, who? I'm like, JJ. And she's like, yeah, it's my nephew.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy.
And she's like, I meet people all over the country that say that JJ was
Oh, that's
her
fun.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
JJ taught us what a French kiss was.
He did.
I never knew what I meant to French kiss.
See, these are the stories we were
right?
hearing.
How did those stories get started? Like, who started them?
I mean, by the time
Probably
it got
me.
to me, who knows? I wasn't in the know. I mean, it's probably Kevin Anderson telling us what was going on down there.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Yeah. I don't know.
Nobody in Grace was French kissing.
Nobody in Grace was French kissing me. That's all I know. Yeah.
Oh boy. And see,
Yeah.
our parents are old enough now. They're like, they don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's la 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 la.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were French kissing and Thatcher.
Yeah. All right. So let's move to junior high.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move to junior.
Favorite junior high teachers.
I loved Mrs. Lloyd. She was great. She was tough, but she was a great teacher. Honestly, that's probably all I remember.
How old do you think Mrs. Lloyd was when we were in junior high?
You can do
No, I'm
math.
Was she our age? Probably.
well, that's what
Our
I'm
age
wondering
now?
because she seems so old, but I'm
Oh.
sure she wasn't,
Let's see.
right?
Oh,
She's,
probably not.
I think she's in her early 90s now.
Okay.
So
So she was in her
30
Go
50s.
back.
Yeah.
Let's go back 40 years.
Oh, wait, she was younger then. Because,
we were in
yeah,
middle
it's
school.
45 years ago. 45 years now, 40 years ago. So she was like 50.
Like a little younger than us.
Yeah.
But
She seemed old, but she wasn't, as it turns out. Who knew?
Yeah, she was great.
Yep.
I can't remember. I think it was Mr. Cook had an art class from
Yes.
him.
Hook. Mr. Hook.
Hook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hook.
Mr. Hook. Yeah, I took art from Mr. Hook.
And he was walking around the room shaving.
I remember that. I remember that.
It
Because
just
he had to
gross.
shave often, right? His beard
He was a two-a-dayer. Yeah.
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 That's a good
Was that
memory.
in high school or was that middle school?
Probably middle school, junior high.
I think he taught in both. So I think he taught junior high art and high school art.
Yeah.
I took it in high school, so I know he did it then.
Was he
But I
the
don't-
track coach or was
was
it
the
He's
wrestling
wrestling. He coached
Wrestling.
wrestling.
He
Yeah.
may have coached track
Yeah.
briefly.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But he was the wrestler.
He wasn't coaching track by the time I took track.
Yeah. Mr. Keel.
So my favorite, I did not like track, but I did it. And I needed to buy new track shoes. Bought them probably in Pocatello. Took them directly to the track meet in the box.
Oh.
It's my
Oh.
turn to run. I go to put them on. 2 left shoes.
Oh no.
You and
Just like
shoes
skiing.
on the wrong foot. Yeah.
After
I
one
borrowed
lap, your
somebody's
brother's
shoe.
there trying to fix your feet. Wow.
I know.
Crazy.
I know.
Ran it barefoot.
So what'd you do? Did you have to
Borrowed
disqualify?
someone's shoe. Yeah,
Okay.
borrowed someone else's shoes.
That makes sense.
What events did you try?
They were short, so whatever the
Like the
400.
100.
The
Yeah.
100 is the fastest, the shortest.
100 is the shortest, and then you got
Yeah,
your
but
2.
I
You
do
ran the 2. I
remember-
remember you running the 2.
Like running the 400 because you
Do a whole lap.
well, yeah, and you run fast on the straightaways and slow it down a little bit on the corners, speed up on the straightaways, slow it down.
Okay.
Strategy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was-
I'm not a runner. Don't like to run.
I
Never
wasn't
did.
tall enough to run the
I'm
4.
with you.
So
Corky
I
is a
ran the
runner.
8.
Yeah, you run now, don't you, Corky?
I do. Yeah.
Nice. More trail running.
More trail running than anything. Yeah.
How do you not twist your ankle?
You don't not twist your ankle.
You do it often.
Yeah. Yeah. Here and there.
Rub
Yeah,
some dirt on it.
it happens. But yeah, you just watch where you're running, I guess. And you
Yeah.
get a left shoe and a right shoe, and
Yeah.
I don't
it
know.
goes from there.
Miraculous.
Who knew? What about high school teachers?
Oh, I loved Mrs. Garmersall.
Okay.
She was one of my fave. Miss Thursby came up a lot too. I really liked her.
Yeah. I regret not saying Mrs. Thursby when Nolan and I did our thing. I wasn't thinking because she was really the one teacher that I let light a fire
Yeah.
in high school.
She was so, I don't know, unique. It wasn't, traditional teaching methods or
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
she just was outside the box and was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Mr. Yamachi, but I did not like math, so I associate him with math. So
Yeah. I
He
liked
gets it.
him more than he liked me. I'm quite
Mhm.
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
One time
Okay.
I went into Mrs. Gummersall's classroom and I was the first one in there and I'm sitting there and we're just chit-chatting, having a lovely little conversation. And then she's like, well, what are you doing in here? I'm like, I have class. She's like, yeah, no, I don't have a class.
That's
The
awesome.
wrong class.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
I think I actually had Mr. Green for German right next door.
I had German. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
I took German for a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never
It
took
was-
Spanish. I took German
So
instead.
did I. Yeah, that's all I took too.
Can the two of you still
I
rock it?
learned, here's what I learned. Karl und Anna, which means Carl and Anna. That's what I remember.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Right?
Oh, I can
Nine.
understand that one. Yeah.
I could probably do the alphabet. No, or not Nolan, but David Miller and I took the German alphabet and sang it like the American
Oh,
alphabet.
wow.
Yeah.
Did that work?
It helped, yeah.
Okay. I remember the numbers better. I can do
I don't remember numbers.
I can
9.
do up to 3.
That's
No.
no.
No,
I can
9.
Okay, let's hear it. I want to hear Corky do the numbers and you do the alphabet.
No, I don't. I only know 3. Eins,
Do it.
eins, zwei, drei, I think. 1 through 3, I think. Quart is
That makes
or
sense.
quart.
Yeah.
That makes
It might be
sense.
quart. Sank. Quart,
Okay.
sank.
That's like Spanish.
Yeah. Well, that's as far as I could go. If even that's right, I have no idea.
Let's hear
Somebody's
the
gonna listen to this in posterity and
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, this guy
Yeah, I was
didn't
like,
know.
this guy didn't know German.
German people are turning off their YouTube right and
We
left.
are
Yeah.
we are not big in Germany. No.
So let's
Not
hear
yet.
the alphabet
yet.
song in German.
I don't think I'm gonna sing it.
You can say it.
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, X, Y, Z.
Well done.
Why do I remember that?
I don't know.
Because you and
It's
David
good, though.
Miller.
We
Well,
sang it.
you took
Sang it
yeah,
to
you
each other.
attached it to song.
It's
Well-
kind of like Schoolhouse Rock that you can
Yeah.
remember stuff because
Yeah.
it's put to a song.
Yeah.
I know
So
99
when you talk to
Buffaloes.
David, make sure that he says
Yeah,
the
we'll see if he
alphabet.
can remember it.
Yeah.
That'll be the true test of how effective the German alphabet song.
From Mr.
Yeah.
Green.
Yeah.
Mr. Green, who also taught us driver's ed.
That's right. Terrified of him in driver's ed.
Did he punch you in the
I-
shoulder?
No,
Okay,
No.
so
I don't think so.
when
Did
you
punch
went to
girls in the shoulder?
Pocatello, remember doing the Pocatello trip for driver's ed? Which
Yeah, when you
slot-
had to change
which-
lanes on the freeway.
Well, which slot were you in? First, second, or third?
I don't remember.
Okay. So I was in second, but that's where the worst driver went.
But
Because you didn't have to
only-
drive
you
in
only had
town.
freeway.
You only
Because
had to
you would
drive on
go,
the
it
freeway.
would go 1, 2, 3, then 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
So the number 2 never drove in Pocatello.
Well, so I do remember changing lanes on the freeway, so I must have been in slot
You
2.
might have been a 2 then.
Yeah.
But that could have been 3 also, I think. So, yeah. I see
I
you
don't-
more as a 3.
Yeah, I
When I was a two.
remember the freeway part of it. And
Okay.
James Cordova was in my class. And I remember driving him home one day. He lived out by Mr. McGregor
No, yeah.
up on the hill. So I remember driving him home one day, and that's all I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bet you took driver's ed before I did. I was more in the second flight.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you have any James Cordova stories? A lot of people didn't know him very well.
We have a good James Cordova story, Rochelle.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so do you remember when we were freshmen and we were driving, but we couldn't drive at night yet? We went to Montpelier because you had volleyball, and then you and Amy Jardine had volleyball, and James and I had football. And so we had this great idea. Well, did you drive? You drove my car over to Montpelier, I think.
I remember getting picked up in Soda Springs at
Okay.
dusk
Yeah.
and not getting a ticket, but being told very sternly, you're not allowed to
You're not
drive
allowed
at
to,
night.
yeah. So, yeah. So, and we botched the whole permission slip thing, and Coach Pearson was so mad because I couldn't go home on the bus because I had a car there. It's like, Coach, my car is here. So, yeah, we somehow my car got over there. I think you and Amy drove it.
It
And
sounds
then-
like something we would do.
Yeah, and then we drove it back, but we did get pulled over. Yeah.
Which car was that? Do you remember?
That was a red car. I don't remember. It wasn't the burrito.
The summer that we got our driver's license, maybe it was the summer after, My parents and I went to Canada on a vacation, and they let me drive the entire way at
Oh, wow.
14.
How about that?
At night too?
No, I don't remember driving at night. I think we were probably stopped wherever we were going at night and not driving at night. But some of those mountain passes were so windy,
Yeah,
and
imagine.
man, I can't believe that. I was actually just filling out an insurance thing just recently, and it says age licensed. I'm like,
Oh,
am I going to get in
14.
trouble if I say 14? So I put 14 and then I put in parentheses Idaho.
Yeah,
I
because
was
I
gonna say,
know.
they're
I
probably,
needed to clarify.
yeah, they're like, oh, she
Yeah.
probably worked in the potatoes.
Well, if you
Yeah.
went to Canada, you probably went through Helena then. If you went to Canada from
Could
Grace,
be.
went
Could
up to
be.
Calgary. Yeah,
Yep.
how you'd go.
Yeah, Lake Louise and Banff, and yeah, it was incredible
Awesome.
trip. It was
That's
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
So, what are some things that you think about from your time growing up that you think about regularly?
I just think about like I don't think my parents even had keys to their house. Just there was
Yeah,
that
right.
safety and security. I mean, it wasn't until well into my adulthood that I realized what a treat that was to live in a place that, you could sleep outside at night and not have to worry about anything. And I tell my kids about that. I tell people that I work with about that. It was just such a unique opportunity. And the people, I think about a lot of my friends a lot. It's just been terrible about not keeping in touch. But my parents moved from Idaho probably almost 30 years ago.
Oh,
So
wow.
I don't have a ton of connection back there. So I don't go back very often. So definitely
Yeah.
miss it.
No. Do you have a story involving others from our graduating class that you
Yeah,
can tell
I
us?
have one about you.
You have one about me?
Those are my favorite ones.
I know. I've been waiting. I've been
Oh, no.
waiting. No, so
The
we
ones where
remember
they're waiting, they're the worst.
The Brett Keller story.
the
Okay.
government trip that we went to Boise with Mrs. Olson.
Oh, yeah,
You remember that?
I do.
So we'd stopped at
Not all of it, clearly.
no. So we went in that station wagon, the school station wagon.
Yep.
We had stopped at like Sherry's or something and had lunch or dinner, and I got a piece of pie to go. And I happened to take a knife and a fork so I could eat the pie later.
As you do.
You had a cast
I did have
on,
a
I
cast
think, your
senior year.
arm or your leg. I can't
I had
remember.
right thumb injury. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're sitting in the back of the station wagon. This is hours later. I decide I want to eat my pie. So I pull out the knife and the fork to eat my pie, and you get this look on your face. And then you're like, I used that to scratch inside.
I remember that. I remember that.
So disgusting.
You just wipe it
Yeah.
on your shirt, something. You'd be
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead skin. Yeah. A lot of DNA on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that government trip,
It was
it's
so
funny
fun.
how those things like influence the rest of your life.
Mhm.
I decided on the basis of that government trip, I picked Boise State over Idaho State and Utah State.
Yep.
And that's where I met my current wife. That's where
That
my
was your
son lives now.
trajectory. Yep.
Yeah. It's funny. It's the whole gate thing. It's like a small movement. It means a great deal.
I don't remember much about it other than the station wagon, Mrs.
pie.
Olson, the pie, and your cast. Like who else went? Who
Yeah.
else was there?
I don't remember.
3 of you.
I don't either.
I'm the wrong person to ask, but I do remember we had no idea what the hell we were doing.
No. And why did we get picked to go?
Oh, I remember Shelley Benton also went.
Was she?
So I remember something because I think it was Shelley, but you and whoever the other person was, I think it was Shelley, came to us and said, all the guys from, there was another town like Malad, say that all the Grace guys are gay because because we would like sit in the bleachers and somebody would sit in front of me and they would lean back on my legs, or I would lean back on somebody's legs. We just did that, and like in the team, and so the word around the chamber was was that we were homosexual because we did that.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I remember that.
don't like, did we go to classes? What
No,
did we do?
it was a fake government thing where we were trying to get something passed and get people elected. Don't you remember? Because we got there and everybody was wearing like shirts and ties, and I was like in a t-shirt. And I don't know if other people were dressed up, I don't remember, but I was like in a sweatshirt, a little t-shirt and sweatshirt. We had no idea what we were doing. And then we were like being pawns in this game that other groups were playing to try to get us to move over here for a block of votes and stuff like that.
I think I
Mm.
remember helping count the votes, and I was reading aloud what the vote was, and I
Yeah.
kept saying both, 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 both. So after a while, like, what is even the word both?
Yeah, so we weren't super prepared compared to some other schools that had a longer history there, but we had fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Olson, I think it was you, Nolan, who said that you love to get Mrs. Olson talking about some of her trips. And we'd not have class at all because she'd get talking on a tangent.
Yeah, we could get her to talk about Vietnam or Martin Luther King,
Yeah.
and she would just go on. And the same thing with Mr. Wester. If you ever went to the library, you get Mr. Wester talking about Vietnam, and an hour would pass before you knew. So that was one of my favorite things, that I got to be the library aide for Mr.
Oh,
Wester.
fun.
They had a TV in the back you could watch music videos on.
Trying to even think where the library was in the high school.
Front part of
Bottom
the
floor,
ground
north
floor
end,
towards the
south
football
end. No, north end. Yeah, north end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, north end on the east. Yeah.
Right.
We should have you talk too about some of you were heavily involved in sports, basketball
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
Can you tell us anything about your junior year trip to state?
I mean, it was quite an honor. And just like how close we all got on that team. And I mean, it was Mr. Elsmore and Mr. Bitten, or,
Mhm.
Coach Elsmore and Coach Bitten. So it was incredible. And I remember we were staying at that Holiday Inn,
Mhm.
and it had that weird courtyard that had
Holly-
like the Holly Dome. Yeah.
Holly-
Had the pool and the little tiki hut juice bar kind of thing. And yeah, that was fun.
We were playing, we kind of took over the foosball table.
Did they have shuffleboard too?
They did have
Seemed like they had
shuffleboard.
shuffleboard.
And
No, this was in Boise, right?
Boise, yeah.
someone got a championship belt, like a wrestling championship belt, and the winners of the foosball would get to keep the.
Where did that come from?
I don't know, just I
Was it in
remember
someone's suitcase or something?
Jeff Taggart or somebody had that. I don't remember exactly, but
Yeah, that was
a
fun.
fun trip for us that weren't even involved.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about that community, like the security and the safety and the community, and how close everybody was and how supportive everybody was. And listening to like Tina and Scott and Kirsten, who still live there, it sounds like it hasn't changed. Like it's still that community.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, like, was that the best team that you think you ever played on, or that
Oh yeah, for sure.
year?
Yeah, I played volleyball, and volleyball was fun. I just don't think we were overly competitive
Someone said the
at
team.
volleyball,
Yeah.
but it was fun. And we had Coach Elsmore. It was Mrs. Elsmore that taught or coached our volleyball team.
I remember when we were seniors, a bunch of us had this idea that a few of us guys could challenge the girls that were on the volleyball team to a volleyball match.
Bad mistake.
We never did it, but
Oh,
we had it in our mind.
It would have been
Would've
carnage.
competitive.
No,
yeah.
no, we wouldn't have.
We would have got.
Well,
slaughtered.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we might have been able to block some spikes or something, but we couldn't hit the ball 3 times and get it over the net. What?
I don't remember. I think we actually had Coach Yamaki maybe after Coach Elsmore
Yeah.
in our maybe junior, senior year. But when I graduated, I don't know how I got connected to this, but Mrs. Elsmore took us to like a refereeing camp.
Okay.
And there was me and somebody else. We learned how to referee and then refereed some games at Malad. And it was terrifying because of
bet.
how competitive we were with Malad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not fun.
It'd be
It was
rough.
not a career making thing for me. Scary.
I refereed volleyball for a while when we lived in San Antonio many years ago.
Oh, really?
It was fun, yeah. I enjoyed it.
We should talk about Rochelle's house being the gathering place.
That's true. We should.
This is a good spot. So
Yeah.
tell us about that.
How
I
did
didn't
that
realize
come
it
to
at the
be?
time,
Yeah.
but it really is every parent's dream, right? It was ours as parents when our kids were high school age that we
Your
want our
parents
kids to
knew where you
gather
were.
at our home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So your parents had that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was, I don't remember the genesis of that or how it started. Maybe it was proximity, but yeah, it was a lot of great memories. I remember you were talking about Cujo,
Yeah. I
and I
watched
remember
Cujo at
there
your
was a
house.
scary part in the movie and everybody jumped back and the couch about fell over.
Yeah. Watch Cujo, watch Flashdance at your house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I remember
hilarious.
those
I'm sure
two.
we watched others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were others too, but I remember those two for sure.
Was that
Yeah.
mostly junior high or was that
I was in
I
the
think
high
that was high
school.
school.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was in high school.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
was there a closet downstairs that people would go in?
There was down at the bottom of the stairs, there was a bathroom, and then
Okay.
there was my brother's bedroom.
Mhm.
And then there was kind of like a little office area, but there was a closet that was under the stairs, but it was used like a pantry. I don't even know if you
Hmm.
could get in there. Or was there kissing going on in there?
That's what I want. I always remembered that like there would be couples that would go in. It's like it's your turn to go in the closet.
Interesting. I don't
I,
remember that.
I don't
I
maybe I'm
I didn't have any experience in any closets. In case anyone's
so
wondering.
sometimes I wonder if my memory is merging things from like 80s type movies with
Yeah.
reality.
That
Yeah.
could be.
I
That could
do
be.
that, like all of the different places that I've lived, I'll see somebody that looks familiar and I'm like, where do I know them from? Which place?
John Hughes movie where they
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Very
Cool.
good.
sandwiches, how did that come to be?
Oh yeah, the sandwiches. That was
I
part of
don't
it.
know, but for lunch today, I call it a monkey platter where it's like little snacky things.
They
And
call
part of those little snacky things were pickles and
okay.
cheese. So now I eat it without the bread. I don't eat a cheese and pickle sandwich. I eat the cheese and pickle. But my mom, and I love her, and she'll laugh at this because she'll listen to this. She was a grocery snob.
Okay.
She bought good food, really good food. So I'm sure the cheese was
Not
the best of
individually
the
wrapped.
best.
No
Yeah.
wonder.
Yeah, it was not the Kraft cheese. It was,
Yeah. That's what we
I
eat.
don't even know if Tillamook was a thing then, but
Probably
It would be
not.
like that. It would be, yeah,
yes,
Been able to
sliced,
get
but
it.
not individually wrapped. And
right,
actual real cheese,
right.
probably. Yeah.
And she had a cheese cutter that was, shaped like this and then had the little wire across.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Slicer, yeah.
And you slice down the cheese and it was set to cut the cheese pretty thick.
Yeah.
So that was key.
Uh-huh.
I remember
Thick,
being
thick
introduced to that kitchen
There?
instrument at your house. Yeah. It's like,
Okay.
what is this and what do we do with it? Yeah.
Did you
Never
guys
seen
ever
it
have
before.
French fries at my house?
I think I did. I think I did
Yeah,
have
so
French
we
fries.
had that little pot. It was just,
The
it
deep
looked like a
fryer.
little bucket and
Yeah.
it had oil
Yeah.
in it. We kept oil in it all
Yeah.
the time.
Yep.
And we'd slice up a potato and
Yeah.
have French fries for an after school
Yeah.
snack.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually remember that because when I first moved to Helena, I would bake French fries for my kids, sweet potato or potato
Mhm.
French fries for an after school snack. I was like, oh, this is like Rochelle's house. Yeah.
Did you are you disappointed in potatoes where you're at now?
Oh, always. I have
They're
been since
just
I
not,
left.
yeah, not the
They're
same.
small and they're just not. Yeah.
Not much flavor and they don't
Yeah.
fluff up like the Idaho potatoes do.
You can't get a good baked potato.
No.
You
And
can't get
salt,
them
like,
right to where you can
yeah,
push it in and no, you just can't.
exactly.
Yeah. All right, no, we're ready for the grab bag.
All right. Are we sure?
Yeah.
No
I
more.
do. Oh wait, I have one more story.
No, go. Yeah. I
So
knew there would be more stories. So
Niter Ice Cave.
okay.
I went bat hunting with Todd Hansen and Randy Kirby. And
That's awesome.
it must have been, I mean, I would have thought it was elementary school, and we brought back bats to the class.
You caught bats?
We caught bat.
Why?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's another one of those things where, yeah, bats bite. And as a parent, I'm like, I would never want my kids to do that.
And they carry diseases.
Disease.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hey,
That's
they
a good
look-
one.
they look nice, right? They're like
Well, they're just hanging there. They're asleep. We just snuck up on them and put a jar over them.
Okay, so
Love it.
Halloween 1988. Do you remember anything about it?
Was this when we were downtown and JJ was running down Main Street in a box, in a like a refrigerator box?
I don't remember that. This is so funny.
So
No,
JJ came back to visit because he didn't live there anymore.
He didn't?
must have
No.
been earlier.
Moved away.
He must have been.
Like
Yeah.
somewhere.
A refrigerator box. No, I
But he
don't
may have
remember that.
come to
Well,
Like he
visit.
cut
'Cause he
holes out
lived
of it
in-
or something?
Yeah, I mean, my dad had a furniture store, right? So
Yeah.
that was a treat. Whenever he had appliances that he was unpacking, we'd have these big boxes and we'd play with them forever. And I remember him, I don't think he cut holes in it, and I don't think he cut eye holes in it. And that was part of the
Oh,
funny part of it.
okay.
He was just
He just
running
put it
by.
over himself and went.
And
That's
whatever
awesome.
you might run into, you might run into.
Yeah.
Or
But I remember you talking about that with the people on the back of the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Okay. Okay.
But
maybe she
I don't
was
know
in
if you
Bancroft.
remember the deck on the back of our house, those stairs came up to the deck and then the back door.
Yeah.
We were home one Halloween and somebody came up those stairs, had on like a mask and a dark coat,
Ooh.
and just came in and sat at our dining table.
Oh,
Didn't
that's
say a thing.
creepy. That's so creepy. I'll have to
I don't
steal
know.
that.
I have no idea who it was.
Oh.
I bet you that was David Miller. That sounds like
Or
something you would
it
do.
was either David Miller, or it could have been Don Grunig.
Okay.
We were
Oh,
really good
yeah.
friends
They're
with the
just across the
Grunigs.
street. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Pretty freaky.
creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is creepy. All right.
What do you remember about Halloween 1988?
Halloween 1988. I was hanging out. I think it was Kirby. I don't think he remembered, or maybe I forgot to ask him. And it was some others. And there was a big cattle truck with plywood wired to the cattle truck so you couldn't see in the
Right.
back. And they were spraying water on everybody, just going around town spraying water. So we made it our mission to find them and figure out who they were. And so we found them at the Grace parking lot, and I ran and I grabbed hold of the truck. There were a bunch of us running after, and I grabbed hold of the truck, and I kind of remember them trying to get me off the truck.
They were
But
driving?
yeah, there was someone driving, and there were two or three in the back, and I wouldn't let go. And so I got in. It was Lynn Smith, Kevin Smith, Craig Wilker, and someone else.
Supposedly Byron Shaw too.
Byron Shaw.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And they
Sounds like it.
were playing offense instead of defense on Halloween.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I just hung out with them the rest of the night. It was awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah, 'cause I couldn't remember if you were part of that group that finally found them.
Do you guys remember? I think it was probably when we were seniors, the Fun Bunch.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that was the group that I was hanging out with on Halloween.
That's what made me think of that
Yeah.
was
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
It's
I don't remember where that name came from or why, but
I actually think it was probably somebody was not very happy about our group, and you said it?
did
I
you,
may
you
have-
coined that?
the term
You coined-
fun.
you
I'm not
coined
sure
Fun
exactly.
Bunch?
I may have. I was anti-Fun Bunch, and this is my opportunity to apologize to the Fun Bunch.
That's funny.
That's
Yeah,
what I thought. I thought it was said as a sarcasm, like
and it's kind of a derogatory thing,
And I'm
but
fluent in sarcasm, so that makes sense.
just like any derogatory term toward a group, the group owns it and it no longer becomes, you just
No.
own it.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wasn't part of
Somehow-
the Fun Bunch, but I hung out with the Fun Bunch sometimes. But I think I remember that I was a little bit chapped because David and Corey and probably Nolan were
Right.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Left me out.
Well,
Yeah.
senior year, you kind of went into your cave by
I did.
yourself, and so then the three of us hung out more.
I did.
And then eventually you started hanging out with them.
Yeah.
And maybe that's, I don't know. I hung
Yeah.
out with so many different people senior year. I don't know if I had a place senior year.
That's true. Yeah.
With different people, but
I
for
mostly
some
missed
reason it was
opportunities.
fun to like try to sabotage your fun. It was
Right.
like our group would try to like mess up your fun.
That's hilarious.
But this is why it's called Give Me Grace.
That's
So
true.
Right.
This
guys
is
will
the whole
forgive.
this is the whole thing.
Yeah, this is our opportunity to like apologize to people or ask forgiveness to people.
No apology necessary. And I heard you say that you're fluent in sarcasm.
Somewhat.
Yeah, sarcasm is my first language. English is my second language.
German is your third language.
But sarcasm doesn't always translate. And I work with different cultures now, and I say some of the funniest things,
And they don't.
and they look at me
Just
like,
don't.
"What is she
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
I don't get it."
Yeah. I'm also pretty good at putting my foot in my mouth,
Absolutely, me too.
which I've done plenty of times in these episodes. So
Well, and you have enough grace to just roll with it, and oh well.
Yeah.
I think, and that's what's been really interesting. People are like, you know what? We were just young trying to find our place. And I look back and that's what I was doing. I was
Yeah.
trying to find who did I hang out with.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was John Van Vliet. Sometimes it was David. Sometimes it was Cody Fowler. There's different people at different times. Jeff
Right.
and Kobe or different, I don't know. But you guys had your group established.
Yeah. I mean, it was great memories for sure. And I certainly hope that we didn't offend anybody.
I don't think
I
so.
wouldn't think so at all.
What was your main thing? Going to someone's house and watch movies, or going to toilet paper people, or
Yeah, we definitely did that. Oh, Jane Stoddard.
okay.
Remember Jane Stoddard? We'd gone out to toilet paper at
Curtis's
her
wife?
house. What's that?
Is that Curtis and Jane?
Curtis's wife. Yeah, they lived, out
Mhm.
south of town a little bit. And we were out there and she caught us. And we scared her at first, and then she realized who we were, and she's like, "You guys, come in and chat." And I don't remember who it was, but
Hooligans
sitting
come
in-
in.
what's that?
You hooligans come in. You can be
Yes,
better things to do.
troublemakers. So we're sitting in her lovely house in her living room, and whoever, I can't remember the guy that was there, and he's like, "That's poop. I smell poop." And he couldn't think like her house is way too nice to smell like poop. So he looked down and he had poop on his shoes from running through her.
Oh, nasty.
Yeah.
Who could it have been?
Remember who that
Chad,
was?
Doyle.
I don't remember.
Who was the fun bunch? Like who was the Brat Pack? Well, who was the fun
It
bunch?
was the fun bunch. I mean, I remember me and Amy for sure.
Okay. Ginger and Kathy too, right?
Ginger and Kathy. Shelley was probably part of that. I think Corey Kingston was
Really?
for a while, but then I think I think he shifted sides and was like, yeah,
Shifted sides.
shifted sides. I
Doyle
don't remember
was
what
there.
happened, but what's that?
Doyle and Chad.
Chad Kirby.
Todd
was
Hanson.
the
Yeah.
one. Todd Hanson might have been. Maybe.
Maybe sometimes.
Yeah.
I think that comes.
I mean, Amy and I were absolutely inseparable
Mm-hmm.
in high school, and I just love that I've been able to reconnect with her. Nolan he shared her cell phone. We'd chat probably 2 or 3 times a week.
Good. I'm
Oh,
so
that's
glad.
awesome.
Fantastic. So great.
Yeah.
So fun.
That's awesome.
So that's how I'm repenting. My
You
antagonist.
got to let that go,
Yeah.
man. Let that go.
This is penance.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. We're
Cool.
almost halfway done. No, I'm just kidding. All right. We ready to move to Grace Grab Bag?
Sure.
Okay. Where did you live when Napoleon Dynamite came out 20 years ago?
I don't remember where I was. If it was 20 years ago, I would have been in Portland.
Okay. And how did you receive that movie, that classic?
I watched it. Wasn't like, oh, this is my favorite movie. The thing I do remember is the brick houses made me homesick.
Oh,
yeah.
the old
Yeah.
Preston
Yeah, they don't have houses like that
anywhere
in
else.
Portland, definitely not in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And that made me homesick.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Do you like it now, or you haven't really?
I haven't,
Really?
I have a thing about watching movies repeatedly. Like I just can't do it. So I've
Wow.
probably literally only seen it once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you hang out more at Bluebell or Turner's Cafe?
Oh, Bluebell for sure.
What was your favorite thing to eat at the Bluebell? Do you remember?
The English chips.
Yeah.
They're good.
I was trying to think of what they were called, and I think it was Kirsten who remembered the name. I'm like, yes, English chips. And it was kind of like a fry sauce. I don't remember what their fry sauce was, but it wasn't just ketchup. It was English chips and fry sauce.
I thought they had, well, so did the tartar sauce come with the fish and chips?
It must have, yeah,
So maybe you dipped your chips into the tartar sauce?
maybe.
Or maybe you mix ketchup with the tartar sauce to make a
Oh,
fry sauce?
or ranch and ketchup, yeah. Who
Yeah,
knows?
it could be. Never had anything to eat at the Turner's Cafe?
I'm trying to think if I did. I think my dad would have gone there, and I probably would have gone with my dad at some point,
So the
but I
older
don't.
people in town went there.
Mhm.
That could be a
Yeah.
thing. That makes sense. It's like the Facebook, Instagram thing. My kids are like,
Turner's
no,
Cafe was Facebook. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Turner's
But I
Cafe.
don't, for some reason, I think of brown gravy
Yes,
when I think of Turner's Cafe.
they did have some good plates there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you spend more time in Soda or Preston?
Probably Preston.
Okay.
Well, that's not true because my dad had that store in Soda Springs also.
Okay.
So, and my cousins and my aunts all lived there. So it was probably half and half.
Yeah.
Give Me Grace, a podcast by Alan and Nolan, will return after these brief messages.
At Alder Cabinet Installations, we design classy cabinets for classy people. Looking for a custom cabinet installation for your home or business? Let Alder Cabinet Installations do the work for you. Let us save you money and reduce frustration. We do kitchens, bathrooms, entertainment centers, family rooms, mud rooms, laundry rooms, home offices, and more. Alder Cabinet Installations. Would you like to see the custom cabinets we can design for you? Alder would. Visit our website, aldercabinet1.com, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Now back to this episode of Give Me Grace, a podcast by Alan and Nolan.
What would you do for fun when you went to Soda? Besides getting pulled over.
Must not have been too memorable. We used to always have family reunions. Can't speak anymore at Hooper Springs.
Okay, here's a question. Maybe all of us can answer. Do you like the water at Hooper Springs or not?
I do.
You like
And
it?
I do. And I intentionally buy
You like
Pellegrino because it tastes just like Hooper water.
Hey, that makes sense now when you said that you like high carbonation.
Mhm.
No, I
So
think it's
when I was just
disgusting.
there recently with my dad, when I was talking to you guys about running into Craig Wilker,
Yeah.
the Soda Springs Historical Society did a spring tour.
Okay.
So it was Bill Horsley. I didn't know him before the tour, but we went to Hooper Springs, we went to Mammoth Springs, we went to 90%, we went to Lover's Delight. At one point, at any given time, there were 60 springs in that area.
Okay.
Ah,
Some of them are under the reservoir, but they're still active. And you can, if you're watching, you can see where the spring is bubbling the water on the surface.
Hmm.
So, and then the Mammoth Springs isn't active anymore, but it had such a high concentration of CO2.
Sulfur?
No, carbon dioxide,
Carbon dioxide.
the things that make the bubbles.
Oh, okay.
And then the 90% was probably about a mile away, and that water was pristine. It was cold and it was clear, but it wasn't carbonated. So they capped Mammoth Springs and piped that CO2 over to 90%, and they bottled it on site. And that bottled water won in a world fair. I don't remember what year it was.
Wow. How
It was
about
crazy. So
There
it was cool.
When we used to go to Montpelier, right after you get out of soda, you're going towards Montpelier and you smell sulfur.
Sulfur.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go to that
But
place?
I don't think that's one of the springs. It might be.
Okay.
But that was incredible. If you're ever back in town, I highly recommend doing a little research and go into some of the others, because Cooper's kind of lost some of its carbonation. It's not as bubbly anymore, but like Octagon Springs was just churning.
So I'm with Corky. We're on team. We don't like it, but it's good if it's mixed with Kool-Aid for me.
Yeah. Or lemonade. Yeah.
Or lemonade with some lavender. That's what I like. If you steep it right, it'll be good.
I think I had more appreciation of it now because of it's a naturally occurring gas, and they use CO2 in the semiconductor industry, and it was one of the HPMs that we needed to know about and what was the route that it was coming in. So it's just it's the nerdy science part of it that
you like.
It was incredible. It's cool.
Did you spend more time in Pokey or Logan?
Logan, for sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And did you
my mom, go ahead.
Did you go to the dance club with us?
I think so. I think I remember there was one of those lights, the ballyhoos out in the parking lot. Do you remember that?
Probably.
That was the first time I'd ever seen something like that.
Yes. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was well into my adulthood before I learned that they were called ballyhoos.
I think I just now learned that.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
No, I've heard the word before, but I never knew what it referred to.
Yeah,
I've heard there's a song called Bed Bugs and Ballyhoo. That makes sense.
How?
You're staying in a hotel and it's got the ballyhoo going and there's bed bugs in the hotel.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense to me.
That's a little bit of a stretch, but okay.
Well,
yeah, I've heard it be all like racket, like ballyhoo, like a racket.
Yeah, it's probably
fuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you looking it up?
I am looking it up.
Are you in a thesaurus?
Sometimes he likes to fact check.
Yeah, I look everything up.
Real time.
I have my students look up stuff.
While he's doing that, have you ever gone to the mall in Pocatello?
I'm sure I did. My mom worked at Blocks. Do you remember Blocks in Silver Springs?
Yes.
So when she'd often have to go to Pocatello for meetings or to pick up inventory or stuff. So we would go to Pocatello for that, but I don't remember them all.
Okay. We're trying to.
It's up near Chubbuck. Just across.
We were fishing for that.
Yeah, I figured.
Some people they volunteer it. They're like they know now that they have to say the word Chubbuck.
Yeah.
In their episode.
Get it in there. It's on our list.
And a new question that you may not be aware of.
Oh no.
Is the Caribou County Fair and Rodeo.
Yeah.
It's about your experiences in Corky's part of town.
So the summer before we were in kindergarten, I had an appendectomy.
Okay.
Bad.
And I was allergic to adhesive. So somehow they knew even back then to do like a special type of adhesive on the inside and then on the outside. So I didn't have any stitches. So my scar was tiny and it looked really clean. And my dad thought that was the coolest thing. And he wanted to show everyone at the fair how cool my scar was.
Wow. So you were like a carnival oddity as a 4-year-old.
The bearded lady.
Yeah.
Look at the scar.
4-foot kindergartner eating chicken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was also, my dad always had a beard. Always had a beard.
I always remember him with a beard. Yeah.
When they're kissing me goodbye, I'm going in under anesthesia. I wake up and my dad has shaved.
Oh.
So there's a strange man in my room as I'm waking up. And I've talked to him about it. He's like, yeah, I have no idea why I shaved and why then. And he's had a beard ever since. But yeah, I
Wow.
was terrified. I didn't recognize him.
How about that?
Yeah.
So based on that, did you shy away from the fair after
No.
that?
No. Oh, I have a story about Ginger at the
Okay.
fair.
Oh, here we go.
We all met at the fair. She was on her bike and we were saying goodbye and parting ways and going home. And we were heading this way and she was riding her bike that way, but she was looking at us going that way. And a car backed out of a parking spot and she ran into the car with her bike and she fell. She jumped up and she is apologizing head over heels to this car. The car hit her and she's apologizing to
Hmm.
It's awesome.
Such a thing as being too nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, the
All right.
rodeo was always really fun. I loved the clowns or the rodeo clowns and it's fun. We don't have anything like that where I'm at now.
Well, so we might have answered this question. What's something we might not know about you? You were a carnival exhibit. So
Got to be something more.
is there something else we don't know about you?
So I was in journalism at Utah State. So we ran the student newspaper for the school.
Mhm.
And I wrote an article on purple loosestrife, which is it's a noxious weed. The root base is so dense that it dries up wetlands.
Hmm.
And then that article was sold to the Herald Journal and the AP Press picked it up and it ran in the Salt Lake Tribune. So I got paid a little
Wow.
bit as a
That's
college
cool.
student for an article that I wrote. So with that money, I went skydiving.
How about that?
I know, it's fantastic.
Where did you
It's
go
really fun.
skydiving?
What's that?
Where did you go skydiving?
When I was in college.
Like in the Logan Airport or something?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And we landed out in a field in North Logan and yeah, it was really fun.
Did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
See,
Loved it.
That's a good one.
That I would never do those kind of things, but I'm interested to know, why did you pick to write an article about that thing?
I don't think I got to pick. I think I got assigned that.
Mhm.
You know, it was there was another article that I wrote about fish that have a neurological disease. It's called whirling disease that makes them just swim in circles
Oh,
and
yeah.
they end up dying because they can't get food.
Well,
And that
obviously,
was, it's just an assignment.
but
Wow.
you must have been a really good writer to have your article chosen about some plant to go all the way to the Salt Lake Tribune. Huh?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And it was fun.
So I think all three of us have written for a college newspaper then.
Yeah,
Nice.
I did. Yeah, I was a sports editor and then news editor. Yeah.
At Boise State.
At Boise State. Yeah, the Arbiter. Yeah. If you type in Corky Hansen, my articles will come up. So you can
Your
still
pen
find
name
me
was
as Corky.
Corky Hansen?
Because during college I went by Corky. I didn't shed that until I would move to New York for grad school.
Nice. They thought you needed to grow up or what?
I guess. I mean, I was just Corky. I didn't know any
He
different.
wanted to reintroduce himself.
Well, Nicole always tells people, because we met in a class, and the first day of class they call Alan Hansen, and I said, "Oh, I go by Corky," and she remembers thinking to herself, "Why would someone do that?" Yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
yeah,
Mono.
yeah. But I have. Speaking of penance and give me grace, you were the editor-in-chief of our yearbook
Oh, yeah.
in high school, and I let you down horribly, and I want to
Oh, no.
apologize for that. I did.
How?
I
How?
didn't make assignments and just fouled everything up. Yeah.
Don't remember that at
Yeah,
all. We have
I
a
do.
yearbook, right?
There is
I
one.
think so. I think I have one
Andrew and
somewhere.
Kathy are the only ones that have one.
No, I have one somewhere. I just haven't found it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know where mine is.
Yeah.
I haven't
I don't
found
think I ever
them.
got one.
Nolan famously didn't get one.
We should have that brought back into print.
Yeah,
Be
we
fun.
should.
Oh, colorized.
Yeah. I know David Miller has one because he and I stay in touch we haven't talked for a while, but he would say so and so and so and so. I'm like, yeah, I don't know who you're talking about. And he'd send me a picture
Oh,
of
that's
who
awesome.
it was in the yearbook. I'm like, oh, of course. Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So when was the last time you were in Grace? You mentioned you don't get back much.
Yeah, I was just there in, what was that, June
Yeah.
or
Oh, that's
July
right. Sure.
with my dad. Oh, it was such a great trip. His older sister was having a birthday party and they kind of centered a family reunion around it. And he's completely capable of traveling by himself, but we went together. I met him in Salt Lake. We met at the airport and went on our little merry way, and it was
Just
a
the two of
great
you?
trip. Yeah, it was really
That's
fun.
awesome. That sounds
Yeah,
like a lot of fun.
had a
Did you
great time.
see much of Grace, or did you mostly spend time in Soda Springs?
So we went to Soda Springs, did the family reunion, did the Springs tour, went back to Grace on Sunday. My dad was really good friends with Greg London,
Oh,
the
yeah.
London Drug.
Yep.
So we went to church with Greg, and I thought the plan all along was we were just going to go to sacrament meeting and then we were going to finish our drive to Salt Lake because we had stuff we were going to do in Salt Lake. But my dad and Greg were like little girls. So I hear Greg say, "Oh, do you want to go to priesthood meeting?" And my dad says, "Yeah." They don't say a thing to me. They just start walking off. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to Relief Society.
Oh boy.
That's awesome.
Did
So
people remember you?
what's that?
Did people remember you?
They remembered my dad and then they made the connection of who I was. Actually, Ginger's stepmom, I can't remember her name. Janice? No, it's not Janice.
I know her.
She remembered who I was, and she and I
Lois.
chatted for a little bit about
Lois.
about Ginger and where she was and what they were up to, kind of what they'd been doing. It was really fun to catch up with her.
Yeah.
And then Bart Christensen's wife, Sherry.
Mm-hmm.
She and I ended up, while my dad was chatting and being social, she was sharing some memories of Sanders Furniture. And so when I'm left in the lobby by myself, like, there goes my dad, she's like, come go with me. So I sat with her and really say it's really sweet.
So you were welcomed in the community. That's good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we did a bunch of driving around. We went over to our old house and, drove by Sanders Furniture. We drove out to Central Cemetery. My grandparents are buried out there. It's such a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
So we drove out there, just kind of, it doesn't take much to drive around town.
Where Sanders Furniture used to be, is there anything there now, or it's just an empty space?
Well, my dad's nephew, Terry, kind of took it over after my dad left. And I think that they were just doing maybe housewares out of there. And then he also ran like a paycheck company, companies would submit
Payroll.
their time and a payroll company.
yeah.
I couldn't think of what it was called. He ran a company like that out of there for a while, but I don't think there's anything there now.
Mm.
The Soda Springs store is still open.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Mhm.
Does it still say Sanders Furniture or something else?
Mhm.
It's still Sanders.
They
Furniture.
actually moved one building over, or one retail space over.
Hmm.
I think it was where Chadwick's used to be, the old Chadwick's in Soda Springs.
Okay.
So
That's
Did you
awesome.
work? Did you work at Sanders Furniture?
yeah, absolutely.
What was your job?
Whenever somebody'd come in, I'd take their money and ring it up. And then my dad he would take things on credit, or he would sell things on credit. So
Yeah.
we would have to write statements out every month and send those out. And then, do you remember the wedding registries?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So people would call in and say, I want to put $5 in or $10. And we would write it in a notebook of
Yeah.
what category. And then at the end, okay, we've got 5 people that are doing $5. Let's go find a $25 gift that's on their list.
Yeah.
We've got $30 on the $10 list. And then we would wrap them all. And then we would deliver them. And we'd have the best time delivering with my dad. I remember down at it wasn't the Thatcher Church. What was the church? Yeah, maybe it was a Thatcher Church.
Niter or
There's one in
Niter
Niter and
Church?
then one in
No,
one
Thatcher
in
the one
Thatcher
too.
down
right
the
by the
hill.
river.
The one
Yeah.
down by
Just
the
past the
river.
elementary school.
That's the
Oh,
Yeah.
Thatcher. That's true.
Yeah.
So we were delivering gifts, the glass door, and then there was a glass relight.
Yeah.
And I was coming out, my dad was going in. I'd already dropped off my gift. He was bringing one in, and he tried to go in the relight. And it's so funny.
At what age did you start working in the store?
Oh, when everybody else was working in the potatoes, I would work for my
Oh,
dad. So
okay.
probably 12, 13, 14. Yeah,
Mhm.
I always got really nervous during fair time because people that I didn't know would come in to buy stuff, and it would terrify me.
Okay.
Really scary.
You've said before that you're an introvert, so maybe that was a little bit of
Yeah,
that, huh?
a little bit. Yeah. But like at Christmas time, when my dad would be delivering gifts that people bought, we'd deliver them all over the valley. And there was snow
Yeah.
everywhere. And there were times where we had no business being out on the road right before Christmas. But
But we got to deliver this couch.
my brother coined the phrase, "We're home for the holidays." We were hauling gifts. Home for the holidays.
I remember my brother, John, and my sister Letty and I, the three of us, had this idea. We wanted a new TV because we had the old one where you had to change the channel like
You had
this.
to get up off the couch and change the channel.
We wanted a push button TV. There was not remotes yet, but there was a push button, like a digital looking TV.
Right.
We wanted that. So we're like, if we buy this for mom and dad and say that it's a present to them, then it would be our
You
present.
get the benefit of it. Yeah.
We collected our money, we went and saw your dad, and I remember that TV was $700 and something.
That's a lot of money.
It was, I know, and it was one of those big wooden cabinet things. It was crazy.
Console. They were called console TVs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. TVs were expensive now. What? A little TV like that.
Yeah.
$100 for a little nice TV,
Yeah.
But
my parents never got a gift like that. Well done.
well, it was really for
ungrateful children.
Yeah.
My dad only watched it when he got in from the barn for like 5 minutes before he fell asleep in the chair.
Yeah. And the lazy boy that he bought from my dad.
Yes.
Probably.
You're right. Yes. Did you sell it to us?
Probably. There were a lot of lazy boys in the carpet. I don't remember if you guys remember the Bargain Barn.
Don't.
It was kind of across the street from the post office.
Oh, yes. It was like a thrift store.
Well, for a long time when I was a kid, it was storage for Sanders Furniture. That's where we kept a lot of the furniture rolls.
Oh, okay.
And we'd go over there and bounce from carpet roll to carpet roll to carpet roll. And that building was so old, the roof had like little holes in it. And it looked like stars in the sky because it was dark in there and you could see the sun shining through the little holes.
Those are good memories.
So great. I have a funny story about hauling stuff in the winter, snowy. So you remember our street, we had that empty lot at the end of our neighborhood.
Mhm.
So when it would snow and blow, it would create drifts across the road.
Yes.
And my dad thought it was his civic duty to bust up those drifts to help the snow melt faster.
We helped with that.
So we're coming home from church one Sunday in my dad's old red and white pickup truck.
Okay.
And he's busting drifts and we start spinning.
Oh.
We end up in Corey Kingston's front yard in the truck.
Awesome.
And we're sitting there when they come home from church.
That's awesome.
I have no idea how we got out.
I imagine.
Probably not the only one of us to do that.
Probably. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, we used
Drift
to drift. Yeah.
We felt it was our civic duty also.
I don't remember feeling civic duty. I just did it.
Fun.
Yeah.
What about hooky bobbing? Do you guys remember hooky bobbing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I probably was driving. I probably wasn't coordinated. I would have fell flat on my face or something.
Yeah, we would do that.
Very fun. I remember Tina Peck was doing it once and she hit a patch of gravel.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not sliding when you're hitting the gravel. So it pulled her forward.
Yeah.
And the front of her coat was just ripped to shreds from that gravel. She was okay because she had that coat on, but could have been really bad.
Yeah.
Did she held on?
Yeah,
Or was it
for a
just,
little while.
oh,
Jugger a little bit. Yeah.
yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
So
first rule of hook bobbing. You have to learn how to let
You
go
gotta let go.
when you're not
Yeah,
bobbing anymore.
that's right.
When your hooky is over, you start bobbing. I guess.
yeah,
That would be one you could look up. How did that term come to be?
Hooky Bob. Yeah.
yeah.
Good. All right.
Love it.
So, with the passage of time, what does growing up in grace mean to you?
I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit ago,
Yeah.
but that sense of security and community and just safety. And it makes it sound like my life after Grace was scary and not safe, which is not true, but it was utopic, I feel like. And I often think, oh wow, if I could recreate that for my kids or even myself now. But I like the idea of just keeping that little memory and that nugget as it is, because I don't think it would. I mean, I'd have to work. I'd have to make a living if I went back now. So
Yeah.
I just keep that memory as it is.
But also, you can't recreate Grace
Yeah.
in San Antonio or Helena, or
No.
maybe
No.
Helena somewhat, right?
What are you talking about? You
Too big.
ever been here?
What's
It's
the
too big.
population?
It's like 30, 40,000.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't recreate that.
Yeah.
I don't even think you can recreate it in like a Preston. I think
There are small towns nearby though. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if you've ever had this before, but I'll drive through a town somewhere in nowhere, Montana, be like, what do people even do here? How do they live here? And then I remember it's like, oh,
Grew up
I'm
in a
from
place
one of
like
these
that.
they
places.
probably,
Yeah.
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 I've never thought of like moving back. It's quite a foreign concept to me. Like I love that Tina and Scott are still there and Kirsten are still there. And I know that there are others and
Mhm.
I love that and admire that. But I think from my perspective, I don't know how I would ever do that.
Yeah.
And I've never thought about going back until I was just recently there with my dad.
Hmm.
And I dropped him off at the airport and I had a couple hours in Salt Lake and it just the pace of life was so nice. I'm like, man, I could do this. Now that my kids are grown and gone and doing their own thing,
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Very good.
yeah.
So is there something from your time growing up that you would do differently, Rochelle?
Yeah, and I said it earlier, like I really regret not staying in touch with people. Like now that I've reconnected with Amy, I was thinking, when was the last time I talked to her? She came to my wedding, and I
Mhm.
don't think I saw her after that. That's
Yeah.
terrible. We were inseparable.
Yeah. Well, we take
Yeah.
that stuff for granted, don't we?
Yeah.
We did at the time.
We're
Yeah.
finding a lot of that. We're finding tons of that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's people like you would never think that they would lose connection, but they do.
Yeah.
Life, you get busy with your life. Corky and I had that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in Montana and I'm in Texas, and we
Yeah.
lost connection. And part of this was to reconnect with him.
Yeah. It's really been great. It's been like I think I've said it in the group chat that when you've been talking with others and I've been watching, I've been verbally talking and interjecting into the conversation. You guys
Yeah.
just can't hear me.
So what did we get wrong?
Nothing. I just wanted to add my 2 cents.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But that's how engaging and how delightful it is that it draws you in.
Mhm.
Yeah. And when it's also connecting for me, it's also connecting with people that I wasn't so connected to in high school. A couple of weeks ago, we interviewed Travis Windley. It was fantastic. It's
Yeah.
the most fun I've had.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was great. And we didn't
Yeah.
hang out or anything in high school, but it
No,
was
I look
awesome.
forward to
I
that one. That'll be
I
fun.
texted him something today.
Nice.
So
Yeah. Then that's the hope. We talk about a 40th year reunion or something. And
Yeah.
so between then and now, hopefully we can kind of remain connected so that when we have a reunion, it won't be like establishing our friendships again. It'll be like you're just seeing each other again.
Right.
Like maybe you haven't seen each other in a few years, but it will feel like you've seen each other all along, but
Yeah.
something like that. That's kind of our hope. But
Yeah. I mean, when you first reached out and said, hey, do you want to interview? My initial response was no, because that fear of being judged. And I think that's why people don't want to go to a reunion because
Yeah.
what if I don't measure up?
Mm-hmm.
But this has been such a safe place for people to just be who they are and
Yeah.
just have a conversation. So I hope that like these conversations leading up to a 40-year breaks down all those barriers and people feel like they can just be themselves and be cared for and
Yeah,
accepted.
that's a good point. We kind of talked about that. So a while back when Jeff was kind of initiating the group chat and Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people were commenting and I didn't feel I could comment. And
Really?
Corky asked me why.
Yeah.
And I had to think about it because my family is different than a lot of other people's families. I think is what, but
What
I had to get over that.
right.
Everyone's families are different. I
Yeah.
had to realize like, yes, my family is different, but your family is different and your family is different and we're all different.
Right. I'm a happily divorced single lady.
Right.
And
Right.
who
And
I
for example, when people saw Kirsten's episode, they're like, if Kirsten can do an episode, then I can do an episode.
Yeah, what a classy lady.
That was,
Holy
that
cow.
was awesome.
Yeah.
So it's been really good. There are still people who are hesitant, and you were hesitant. I remember it was
I was.
fun.
Like, can I have a list of questions to
Right.
preview
Wow.
before I
Yeah, yeah.
say yes?
But there are still people
Yeah.
that I've just had to admit, like some people are just shy and
Yeah.
they're not ready, or maybe they never will be ready to
Have
participate.
they watched any of the episodes?
I don't know. Some of them I just have a hard time getting any response from, but that's
Yeah.
okay. I had to
Yeah.
realize that's okay
Yeah.
because I was that person a few months ago. I didn't want to post what's going on in my life in the chat.
Which
So,
I'm so surprised because you were the genesis of all this.
but it took that seed that Jeff has planted and then some other things said, you know what? This is something that we could do. Especially
Yeah.
I knew Corky was doing podcasts.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if anyone could help me with this, it would be him.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it came to be. And now we've got class of 88 people lined
Yeah.
up.
We got
Oh, nice.
four class of
good.
88ers.
We've got
Yeah.
other
Nice.
people that are going to participate. So we're going to
Mm.
see what more comes from this. But
Nice. Yeah, I think my dad is very jealous that his classmates aren't doing this,
Oh, interesting.
the ones
Yeah.
that are left. I mean, he graduated from North Gym, so there might have been 10 of them.
Yeah. Wow.
how many of them do you think are still around?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got other people that want to do something like this. When Robert Pearson and Kim came on his episode, she's like,
Yeah.
we need someone in soda to start this. And I'm like, Kim, you start it.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, I don't have time for that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's pretty incredible, and it's such a huge time commitment for you guys. That's amazing.
it's enjoyable.
Amazing.
When you
Yeah.
ask what
Yeah, it's
would be
fun.
our hobbies, I guess this is our new hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I told Nicole, because she was telling me I should pick up a hobby. I was like, well, I
I
think
did.
this is it. Yeah.
I did. My normal podcast genre is true crime.
I was
So
gonna ask you.
this is delightful.
I was gonna
So-
ask you.
We talk about some crimes.
Yeah, that's true.
Guessing behind the hill, Thatcher Elementary. Woo, scandalous.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you what kind of podcast. So.
Yeah. So one of my favorite is The Moth. Have you ever listened to The Moth? Oh,
I've heard of it, I think.
both of you would love it. It's
Okay.
storytelling. It's fantastic. But my dear sweet girls know that I like it, and there's going to be a live Moth episode in Phoenix when they're all
Oh.
here in a couple weeks.
Nice.
Bought me tickets, so we're all
That is
going.
awesome.
I know, I'm so excited.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
It's Moth.
I have been brought to tears
Hmm.
listening to some of those stories.
Okay. I
Yeah.
like stories. I should
Yeah.
check that out.
So
Thanks
are
for the
they
tip.
true stories?
Yeah, it's basically like a storytelling competition.
Oh,
If you go to I can't remember what they call them, but they basically have a topic for that night, and you go and you might be drawn out of the hat, or
Mhm.
you might say
Oh,
I'm
wow.
definitely scheduled. So it's people just getting up and telling a story about that topic.
That-
And
okay.
it might be like a stretch.
Like the improv
relating.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Ah.
they're natural storytellers. They practice. It's not like it's an awkward, some of them are, but for the most part, they're great storytellers.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Favorite.
No, I've got it. I'm following
Okay.
it. I'm going to
Great.
listen.
Find
Awesome.
the one about the dog named Lake.
The dog named Lake. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
do. Well, did
And
you?
let me know if you cry when you
I was.
listen to it.
I will let you know. I probably
Okay.
won't.
He's not
What
a
about
crier.
cringeworthy? That one stuck out. The Moth
Cringeworthy.
Radio Hour, cringeworthy.
Yeah, I don't remember. I need to
Okay.
go back and refresh my memory.
Wince-worthy moments.
Wince-worthy moments.
That sounds good.
Yeah. And then Phoebe Judge, Criminal,
Okay.
very good.
Is
And
that?
she's just got such a great voice.
And she's a true crime podcaster.
Yeah, but it's not like every other true crime. She does
Okay.
some investigative research and yeah.
Okay.
Phoebe Judge.
Phoebe Judge.
Mm-hmm. I
Okay,
mean,
so
with a name like Phoebe Judge, it's got to be good, right?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a great name. That's a
Mm-hmm.
born to be a podcaster. So here's your last question. How do you feel
Oh.
you've changed from back in the day?
No, I think I was always pretty social when I was growing up, and I am now, but I really, really love my solitude. Like on the weekends or when I come home, it's that decompression and, energy conservation on the weekend because it takes a lot out of me. And I think that's different than when I was a kid.
Yeah. I think Ginger said something similar in her episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my theory is that you all have spent so much time taking care of your kids
Yeah.
and so forth. And now you've got some free time to do what you want finally.
Yeah.
Instead
Yeah.
of watching Blue's Clues all day or Thomas the Tank Engine or whatever your kids like to watch.
Just like even at work, you're always on, you're always thinking, making decisions or communicating and just to step away from that and have that separation it's important to me
Yeah.
now. And I think that's probably just age too.
Do you have a community of people that you like hang out with and do things?
There was a family that used to live down the street from me. They moved away a little bit, but I absolutely adore that little family. They watch my dogs when I go out of town. I watch their dogs. I've watched their kids grow up. They're just, I've spent Thanksgivings with them. They're just a great family. And then a gal that I used to work with at my previous company, she and I chat every once in a while, and that's good. That's enough. And then, yeah, whenever my kids are around, I am energized by their energy and love to hang out with them. But yeah.
We do see your pictures that you put on Facebook, and it looks like when you're all together, you have a really good time, you and your kids.
I think when they were young, I was the adventurer. Like, here, we're going on this hike or we're doing this. And now it's flip-flop. They're like, come on, Mom, we're doing that. Like for my 50th birthday, they bought me a hot air balloon ride and went with me. Like they're
Awesome.
the adventurers now and drag me along. So it's just really fun.
Good.
That's cool. Very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Rochelle.
Well, it was really fun. I appreciate it, the opportunity. It was good to see you guys.
So are we able to call you Chelle, or are we still on Rochelle?
Absolutely. Please.
Awesome. We got there.
Does it feel weird to say it to you?
Chelle.
Say it that way?
Yeah, I think it would be weird. I've always known you as Rochelle. So,
yeah.
I'll have to get used to it.
Honestly, I mean, so this is weird. When I introduce myself, I say Rochelle. But there is a certain nationality that when I say Rochelle, they hear Patricia. So, and it's happened multiple times, different people over the course of many years.
How about that?
So my kids think it's hilarious.
So your new nickname is Patricia?
Patricia. Yeah. So when you go out and you order food, can we have a name for the order? And they start laughing. It's Patricia. Yeah. So you can call me Chelle. You can call me Patricia. Whatever.
Awesome.
Right. Any last things you want to share, or
No, I think I'm all out of
all
words.
shared out?
I'm all out of words.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you for
Been
joining
great.
us. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
You're welcome. And now
All right. Have a good night.
we'll let you get back to your podcast.
Yeah. Have a
Good
good
night.
night.
Bye.
We'll see you later.
All right.
One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. Hear the children crying. One love. Hear the children crying. One heart. Saying, give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Saying, let's get together and feel